My family earns respect.
My family clears bases.
My family breaks records.
My family wins MVPs.
My family gives everything.
My family makes history. My family wins championships.
There's no family.
There's no family.
There's no family.
There's no family like my family. Join the fam.
Join the fam.
Join the fam.
UFO's Active Recovery. Because life keeps you on your toes. Because you want to shine when you rise. UFO technology absorbs impact with every step, so your body doesn't have to. Because standing still gets you nowhere. Get yours today at ufos.com. Feel better. Feel the U.
Bronk,
What up, TB?
what do you think my next move should be? Give it to me straight. Maybe it's just time I hang him up.
I got one word for you. Retirement. If you retire now, you're gonna be walking on soft sand in a week. Just come to Florida and feel the wind in your hair. Retirement is like winning another one. Maybe I'll even join you.
On the Spotty Network, this is what Tom heard.
If you retire now, you're soft and weak. Just come to Florida and win another one. Maybe I'll even join you.
Just go win another one.
Like it's that easy, Gronk. Maybe it is. I still feel like I have a lot to accomplish.
My goal is to win one more.
And Gronk's coming with me.
I'm retired from retiring? Mom, where are my football pants?
Don't trust big decisions to just any network. Go with T-Mobile, the GO in 5G.
And I'm not soft or weak either.
T-Mobile is the leader in 5G.
Good evening and welcome inside the Tim Elstrom Broadcast Center for today's broadcast of the Harbor Hawks versus Harwich Mariners live from McKeon Park. Austin Nakuda, Zach Berman, Drake Toll welcoming you inside for what should be a great game today between two teams here in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Now, Zach, the Hawks coming off yet another game where they did not lose last night, a 5-1 win in Falmouth tonight. They send right-hander Alejandro Rosario to the mound.
Well, some might say the Hawks are hot. That's certainly to be confirmed coming into tonight. But Rosario, he's only appeared in 2 games thus far for Hyannis. In his last start, should I say, it wasn't a start. He actually came in relieving Brandon Llewellyn, but pitched 5 strong innings against Wareham. Comes in with a 2.84 ERA this season after 2 seasons down at the U. But expecting big things out of Rosario tonight. He's got live stuff, and it's surely fun to watch a guy like him pitch.
And Drake, as we said, the Hawks are indeed hot after they did not lose yet again. It's been quite the streak this team has been on the last week.
Yeah, the Harbor Hawks have really been able to put offense together. It's something we didn't see earlier in the year, and now they're the second best team in the league when it comes to batting average, and that says a lot. When your arms are firing the way they are, they've only allowed 1 run in their last 2 games, 2 combined, and when both of those things are clicking, you tend to win ball games.
And Coach Beatty's been very happy with the success that his team has put together, and I had a chance to catch up with him today on the Dugout pregame show. Let's take a look. Welcome to today's Dugout Show. I'm Austin Nakuda alongside Harbor Hawks manager Eric Beatty. And Coach, another win for you guys last night on the road in Falmouth, a big 5-1 victory, and another night where you guys come back from a tie game late. What does that say about the resiliency of your team to once again battle back late in the 8th inning?
Yeah, it's nice to know every game our pitchers are going to give us a chance to win, and our hitters just don't give up, man. It seems like every time, I told the guys last night, it seems like every time we give up a run, we get 2 or 3. So definitely shows a lot about the character, and these guys are staying loose and having a good time, and they're winning, I think, because of it.
And one of the most impressive parts of the team this year has been the bullpen. They're a group that doesn't allow many base runners at all, and one of the guys we saw last night was Jordy Allard, who threw 12 pitches, all strikes over 1 2/3. What do you say about the addition Allard's added to the bullpen?
He's huge. He gets ready really quickly. He wants the ball every single day. And, yeah, he comes in and pounds his own with a couple pitches, and he just goes after guys. So it's exactly what you want out of a bullpen.
And the bats have started to heat up in the last week, as we've seen. Tonight you guys are facing a starting pitcher who can sit between 93 and 96 on the mound, and the Harwich starter, Reiselman. What do you say to the group tonight to get them ready for a fastball pitcher?
You tell them to keep doing what they're doing. They've done a good job of finding the sweet spot on the wood bats, which is always an adjustment period up here, but they've found that. Hopefully we can stay short enough and stay with good pitch selection and put good wood on the ball tonight.
And lastly, you guys were on the road last night, back home tonight before hitting the road for 2 more games. What's the message to the team throughout a stretch where you're primarily playing on the road?
Home, away, it doesn't matter. We're out here to play baseball and have a good time and hopefully win.
Well, thank you again, Coach. Good luck tonight. For Eric Beatty, I'm Austin Nakuda, sending it back to the booth. Always a pleasure getting to catch up with Harbor Hawks manager Eric Beatty, and we are going to do so before every game here at McKeon Park. And Drake, you talked to him a little bit yesterday. I think collectively, him and the coaching staff, very pleased with the progress the team's made.
Yeah, the big story to me right now has been Cole McConnell and the way that he's come along and become consistent, not just in the outfield, but also at the plate. Had a 7-game hitting streak there for a while. And then Tito Flores on the other side. He's gotten on base in all 14 games he's played in, had a 10-game hitting streak as well that was broken in that doubleheader against Chatham. But his bat has stayed hot. You saw it again last night. This team, it feels like the middle of the lineup, the heart of the lineup at the very least, is clicking on all cylinders. And I already mentioned it, the mound. Everybody that's gone out there for the Harbor Hawks has competed to a level that's been pretty elite these last few games.
And one of the guys who shined last night in Falmouth was Jordy Allard, who came out of the bullpen, threw 12 pitches, all strikes, and racked up 3 punch-outs. In doing so, our sideline reporter, Bria Lossick, caught up with Jordy before the game.
Alongside Jordy Allard from Northeastern. Jordy, yesterday you gave up no hits, no runs, no walks, had 3 Ks through 1 2/3 innings. And not only that, all 12 pitches you threw were strikes. How do you have such good control on the mound?
It all starts in catch play for me. Before the game, when I'm out in left field throwing or wherever I am, I just really work on commanding the ball wherever I want it to go. So I'm hitting my partner in the chest, hitting him in both shoulders, and then for me that translates into the game. So that's how I work on command and how everything flows out on the game mound for me.
What pitch were you really feeling last night?
My splitter. That's kind of my go-to pitch for strikeouts, or if I just need to throw somebody off my fastball. My fastball, I didn't feel like it had life last night, so I went to the splitter a lot, and it worked for me last night.
The bats have been hot lately. In fact, Hyannis has the 2nd most runs in the league. How does it feel as a pitcher on the mound knowing that you're getting that run support?
Yeah, I mean, it's just awesome for these guys. Like, even after the other team will score, they'll bounce right back, and we'll get a couple runs on the board for us. It's been late innings for us lately, so for me coming out of the pen, I just feel secure and know that if anything happens, these guys have my back, and they're going to score some runs for me. So it's very, very comforting, and it lets the pitchers in the pen and starters just be more comfortable out there. They don't feel as if they have to make every single pitch, and there'll be mistakes, and they know the guys will get the runs back for them. So, yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Jordy. Thank you. From McKeon Park, I'm Bria Lossick, Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Another beautiful rendition of the national anthem live from McKeon Park as we welcome you back as you get a shot of Judy Walden's Scarefile Field, the scene for today's matchup between the Hyannis Harbor Hawks and the Harwich Mariners. If you're just joining us, I'm Austin Nakuda alongside Drake Toll and Zach Berman. Excited to be with you for today's matchup. And let's start off with the starting lineups first for the Harwich Mariners, who are coming to the plate in just a moment. It's going to be Press Kavanaugh in the leadoff spot, and playing left field today for the Mariners. We didn't see him in the first matchup of the year, but gets the start in the leadoff spot today. Then it's Tommy Seidel in the 2-hole and playing right field, and Nick Goodwin batting third. He'll be at short today. Joe Vitrano, the first baseman, in the cleanup spot. Kenny Lavari will be over at third. And in the 5th hole, Chris Newell, they call him Gel. He's in the 6th spot today. Tatum Levin's the catcher, and followed by Will Hammeter, the designated hitter. And in the 9th spot, David Smith. He'll be over at second base, and going around the horn for the Harbor Hawks defense, as you see there, Flores in left, the Gold Glove center fielder Cole McConnell once again in the lineup, Philip Matulia in right, Jeb, Patelli, Moore, and Janish are infield. Ruiz does the catching for Rosario with Shaniel at the DH spot. We will show you the Harbor Hawk lineup in the bottom of the 1st inning when they come up to bat. So Drake and Zach, a very dangerous Harwich lineup when those bats are clicking.
Absolutely, but you also have to remember, Harwich has recently, in the last few days, lost 6 players to Team USA, one, of course, including the defending Cape League Player of the Year in Brock Wilkins. So this is a Harwich team that has really struggled to put runs on the board, and they've struggled as of late. They got walked off by Bourne last night, blowing a massive lead in the process, and they only sit with 12 points. They're 6-10 right now. One of 2 teams left on Cape Cod that is not tied. 6-10-0. Meanwhile, the Harbor Hawks, if they win and YD loses to Chatham, Hyannis will take sole possession of 2nd place in the entire league overall with 21 points.
Well, you've mentioned them getting walked off last night. I have, with my own 2 eyes, have seen a walk-off from the Harwich Mariners. It happened in Game 1 of a doubleheader against the Harbor Hawks earlier this year, but I'm glad you mentioned the Team USA guys, Austin. They have lost Brock Wilkin, huge loss, Brock Wilkin, Gino Groover, Jake Geloff, and Kyle Teal, all the Team USA out of this batting lineup, Wilkin being the same one who hit a walk-off home run against your Harbor Hawks.
That's essentially their 3-hitter, their 5-hitter, and a couple of other starters, too. I mean, that's no easy task to replace those guys. We're hoping to rely on Brock Wilkin to carry the offense all summer, but he'll be heading to Team USA, and then next year a projected top 15 pick in the MLB draft.
I mean, not to mention losing Jonathan Santucci, who was one of their top starters.
Focusing on Rosario now, who takes the mound for the Harbor Hawks. His first start of the 2022 Cape Cod baseball season, but his 3rd overall appearance so far this season. 6 1/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 runs, no walks, and 8 punchouts. He's got good velocity, and the 8 strikeouts to no walks is a very impressive number from the young right-hander.
You know, when Rosario's on, he's got the kind of stuff that when it clicks, it's not just disgusting, but it's almost borderline comical to watch guys.
First pitch of the night is a called strike to Press Kavanaugh, the leadoff man who will stand in left field for the Harwich Mariners. Kavanaugh was also with this team in 2021. Just 2 for 11 to start 2022 as Rosario winds up and brings home an 0-1. Misses outside for a ball, count evens up.
First 2 pitches from Rosario, 93 miles an hour. Mr. Kavanaugh, good afternoon.
Yeah, that's how you start your day, 93, and that's not even the highest we'll see him ramp up to. As here's the 1-1 from the Miami right-hander, hit foul, and Rosario quickly ahead.
Rosario, the big thing you want to see out of him today is pumping the strike zone. If there's one critique of Rosario's game so far, who's projected to go in the top 3 rounds next summer, it's control. If he can completely put control together today, he's due for an elite outing.
Here's the windup from Rosario. That one's lined straight back into the netting as Kavanaugh stays alive. 95 on that fastball from Alejandro. And Drake, you just mentioned the control issues. In 60 innings this year at Miami, he did walk 25 batters.
Yeah.
But so far, 6 1/3 here on Cape Cod, no walks.
Yeah, that's what you want to see, and he's coming to some interesting situations here as well.
Here's the 1-2. Kavanaugh lines it foul. Tough battle for the leadoff man.
And you're seeing, too, the pressure's on for Rosario, who's got probably 40 scouts in the stands today, all here to watch him pitch. He's got one of the better arms coming up in next summer's MLB draft class, and a whole lot of guys are here to see that on display, and so far they've seen low, mid-90s from Rosario.
Here's the 1-2 from the right-hander. Fouled off again. What a battle by Press Kavanaugh. And you mentioned the scouts in attendance. I asked a couple of them the last time the Hawks were home, who are you here to see? Are you here to focus on the 2023 draft, or are you looking at the draft for this year that will happen on July 17th? And I got mixed answers. It really depends on the organization and what scouts. Some guys are focused on this year's draft. Some are really looking down the line at a guy like Rosario. Here's the 1-2 once more. Popped up again. Kavanaugh doing what you want your leadoff man to do, and that is make the starting pitcher work.
Kavanaugh does not want to go back to the dugout. Now, Rosario still only has 1 ball on this at-bat, but he's thrown 6 strikes as Kavanaugh has done well to foul 4 off with a 2-strike count.
The 8th pitch of the at-bat looms as Rosario goes into the windup, brings up the leg, and brings home a pitch that's called. Strike 3. Rosario wins the battle and gets the first out.
Freezes him 94 right down the heart of the plate. And that's what we said. We wanted to see this out of Rosario. Keep pumping the strike zone. He's done just that. And nice job by Alejandro to stick with it, retiring out number 1. That was probably a little bit tougher than he was expecting.
Here comes Tommy Seidel, who's batting in the 2-hole today. He'll be out in right field when the Mariners take the field. He's a senior from Alabama. First-year member of the Crimson Tide. He was a 4-year member of the Harvard squad, so a transfer.
From Crimson to Crimson.
Yep.
Yeah.
First pitch to Seidel inside for a ball.
Now, Seidel has had an insane journey. He has played in 4 different summer ball leagues, New Bedford and Martha's Vineyard with the NECBL, North Shore with the FCBL, and the Leesburg Lightning with the Florida Collegiate Summer League. So
a
make that 4.
well-traveled outfielder ahead in the count 1-0, watches the ball. Just missed the zone. Looked like the slider there.
How about the first pitch from Rosario? That's right at your left knee, humming 94. And again, Tommy Seidel's first at-bat here. You're facing a guy who's humming it at you like that, and he comes in on the fastball. That'll wake you up.
There's a 2-0, jammed foul.
95 from Rosario. How many of these guys that you see who even are supposed to sit 94 to 96 this season, we've seen come out and throw 92 to start.
Right.
Rosario's already hitting 95.
That's huge. Out of the gate, he's ready to go. 2-1 the count to Tommy Seidel, who's batting .285 with a homer and 4 runs batted in. That .285 mark is from a 50 at-bats sample size, so clearly he's doing something right at the dish.
No kidding.
Here's the 2-1 from Rosario. Inside for a ball. Count moves to 3-1.
Rosario trying to fight off his first walk of the Cape League season. He's got 8 strikeouts through 6 1/3 coming in at 2.84 ERA. 3-1 here. When you got a fastball like that you can hopefully spot, say go back to it.
Here comes the 3-1. That's a fastball. It's fouled off, and the count will move to full. Comes back at 94. He's relying on that pitch early, which a lot of starters do first time through the lineup. Especially when you have it at 94, 95. Going to lean on that pitch a bit more. Beautiful day for baseball here in Hyannis. If you're just joining us, the score is still 0-0, just the second batter of the game. Tommy Seidel has a full count against Alejandro Rosario, who winds up and brings home a 3-2, which is a called strike 3. Back-to-back punch-outs to start the ball game for Alejandro Rosario.
Well, he's absolutely frozen the first 2 batters, this Harwich lineup, on the same pitch. It was that 94-mile-per-hour strike low in the strike zone, has it right at their knees, and you can't do anything about that.
That'll bring up Nick Goodwin, the shortstop, with 2 away in the inning. Goodwin hitting .281 on the young season. 15 strikeouts to just 4 walks. Watches the first pitch. It's called strike.
From 95 to 83 there with the off speed. And a great spot on the inside part of the plate as well.
0-1 the count to the 3-hitter Goodwin. Here's the windup and the pitch. And behind that one, 0-2. Had some movement to it down in the zone, and Rosario's 1 strike away from having a sensational first inning.
I'm telling you, when this kid is clicking, there may not be a more fun pitcher in the Harbor Hawks organization to watch.
He confirms the sign from the catcher Poncho, brings home the 0-2, and that one's going to be just a bit outside.
So we had a conversation with the wonderful broadcast crew for the Mariners before the game. Goodwin started out most of the season out of K-State in the leadoff hole for Harwich. He ended up getting dropped down to 3 once they had their flock of Team USA guys leave.
Here comes the 1-2 to Goodwin. Breaking ball called. Strike 3. Alejandro Rosario has the punch-out pitch working. 3 up, 3 down, all looking to start the top of the first, and the Harbor Hawks are coming up to bat when we return on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Tastes like a Coke.
We nailed it!
Coke Zero Sugar.
Have they nailed it?
Sounds like they really nailed it, huh?
Nailed it.
And that's when you said... So it really tastes like a Coke.
Yeah, that's the point.
When it comes to buying or selling a home, you need a partner, not just an agent. For over 50 years, Gibson Sotheby's International Realty has set the standard in excellence and performance. A seasoned team that has thrived throughout all markets. Our agents live and work in your neighborhood and understand you. We are over 170 agents strong, backed by an in-house marketing team and global reach that is second to none.
From studios to penthouses, purchasing to renting, our team provides unparalleled real estate services.
If you live here, fun is your thing. If you live here, tough is your thing. Smart is your thing. Caring is your thing. If you live in Massachusetts, community is your thing. Since 1972, the Massachusetts State Lottery has provided over $25 billion to help cities and towns with the things they need most. If you live here, giving is your thing.
Welcome back for the bottom of the first inning. Austin Nakuda, Zach Berman, and Drake Toll welcoming you as the Hawks are coming up to bat. And with them due up, let's take a look at the Hyannis starting lineup. First with Mitch Jebb, the leadoff man, once again comes into the night batting .297, has firmly asserted himself into that spot. Tito Flores once again in the 2-hole, followed by Justin Hyannis, the first baseman, has really settled into the 3 spot for the Hawks. Nolan Shaniel gets boosted back up into the cleanup spot, the DH from Florida Atlantic. Cole McConnell in the 5-hole. He'll be back in center field, as we mentioned. Christian Moore, the Tennessee star, who has really been solid since joining the Hawks, comes into the night with a .267 average back in the lineup, followed by Poncho Ruiz, the catcher. Dom Patelli once again in the 8-hole, and Philip Matulia gets the start over in right, which will bring up Mitch Jebb to lead us off.
And they got to deal with Raiselman today, too, who has a fastball 93 to 97, 4-pitch guy, curveball 77 to 81, his slider 78 to 82, changeup 82 to 86. But that fastball at 97, Raiselman out of LSU is going to be a force to deal with.
Here comes the first pitch of the night from the right-hander, slows it down at 85 and drops in a strike.
Well, Raiselman coming out of he came out of Southern California and actually played against our very own Wes Burton in high school.
There's the 0-1 to Jebb. Hesitated, but it's a called strike anyway at 94. Seems like the outside part of the zone is available for rent today.
Jeez, well, Raiselman throws 94% fastballs to both lefties and righties. Hardly ever throws a break.
There's another fastball. It's lined back up the middle by Jebb. Sliding stop by Goodwin. The throw to first is not in time. Mitch Jebb's got himself an infield single to lead us off. And just like last night, Jebb is aboard to start off the ball game for the Hawks.
He has been such a force of nature in the leadoff spot. He's just about as perfect of a leadoff hitter as you could get. He'll ramp up your pitch count, always deliver a tough at bat, and once he gets on, he can run, which is such a huge boost to this lineup and this team overall.
Did steal another base last night in the victory in Falmouth. That was a big win for the Hawks, 5-1. Their second straight 5-1 victory. Jebb on the year, 7 stolen bases here in Hyannis. 3 times he's been caught stealing. Tito Flores now at the plate. The Harbor Hawks batting leader in many categories as he watches a first pitch fastball up in the zone.
Flores has reached base in all 14 games he's played in this season, had a hit in 13 of them, but to kind of finish where Raiselman is, only uses that slider 3% of the time and only to righties. Changeup 3% to righties, never to lefties, and the curveball 3% to righties, never to lefties. Hates throwing off speed.
Here's the 1-0. There's the fastball. It's grounded back up the middle into center field for a base hit. The Hawks waste no time jumping on the hard-throwing right-hander. First and second, nobody out.
Well, clearly the scouting reports are saying something right, because those first 2 swings, you see the Hawks are sitting fastball, fastball, fastball all of the way, and now you're in a position where you have two guys on, nobody out against the hard-throwing Raiselman. Let's see if this heart and soul of the order, beginning with Justin Hyannis, can really put the Harwich Mariners in a deep spot early.
So Hyannis, who's batting .260 on the year, steps in. He's got 5 runs batted in. Chance for another here as he swings at the first pitch, slaps it to left field. It's going to hang up a bit, and Kavanaugh's there to make the catch. Hyannis goes down on the first pitch, but the Hawks are looking to be aggressive early in counts today.
Well, just to finish what I was saying, I asked Wes, how would you sum up Eric Raiselman's stuff? And he just looks at me and goes, well, he throws wicked hard with a sharp slider he never uses. That's all he said.
We'll see what we see today from Raiselman on the mound. He's already thrown up to 94 this afternoon as Nolan Shaniel, the DH, Steps up to the plate. Nolan with a .222 batting average and a .283 on base. He's really started to heat up the last couple of games. First pitch on the outside corner, 0-1.
Jeb has 7 stolen bases over there at second base. You see him dancing right now in top part of your camera screen, and wouldn't be surprised if he at least toys with the idea of taking third base. He's got the speed to do it. We've seen multiple double steals from the Harbor Hawks as well.
Hawks like to be aggressive on the base pass. Shaniel at the plate, 1 out, 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Shaniel smacks it foul. I guess the only problem stealing bases today off Raiselman is he hums it at 94, 97% of the time.
Yeah, he's
so
not going to give you a breaking ball to go on here.
You're going to have to run in a fastball, and you're going to have to get a good jump. Shaniel behind 0-2. Nolan's got 4 runs batted in on the season as he's really picked up the pace at the plate. Part of the reason he's been reinserted into the cleanup spot. Raiselman comes set, and here brings home an 0-2. That one's going to miss outside. 1-2 the count.
As a hitter, how does it affect your strategy when you know that a guy is not going to give you anything off speed?
Yeah, prepare
Probably
for the
attack fastball, yeah.
I would say.
Would hope.
Coach Beatty said that in the dugout show, that he told his guys just keep doing what you're doing, and that is attacking the fastball early in counts. Long pause from the right-hander. Here's the 1-2. That's outside again. Another fastball, and again it's at 94 miles per hour as the count evens up.
It's a Harbor Hawk team, too, that has the second best batting average in the league now, hitting a .235 clip, only behind Katuitt. They've got an opportunity to put up a few runs here in the first, and they put up 1 in the first inning yesterday.
Time is called by the starting catcher, Tatum Levins.
Really says something about how much of a pitcher's league this is when 235 is by far and away the second best average in the league.
Here comes the 2-2 to Shaniel. That's in the dirt, blocked there by Levins, and the count's going to run to full.
You haven't seen too many issues from Raiselman when it comes to control. 18 walks through 44 innings isn't elite by any stretch of the imagination, but 66 strikeouts to boot. The guy doesn't usually struggle in that category.
Rocks the left leg up and down a couple of times, comes set. Full count pitch to Shaniel. Going to miss for ball 4. The bases will be loaded for the Harbor Hawks.
Well, is there anybody that you want up more than with the bases loaded than Cole McConnell?
Right now, it's got to be Cole McConnell. You're right. He's been one of the most consistent bats of the Harbor Hawks, especially recently. Had a 7-game hit streak that was broken up in last night's ball game, but he's 13 for 43 on the year, a .302 average and 4 RBI. Has been toward the top of the league in batting average for the last 5 or so days.
Yeah, Cole McConnell has firmly asserted himself as one of the best players on Cape Cod thanks to his play the last couple of weeks. First pitch to him is a fastball, and it's at 95. A battle of flamethrowers today here in Hyannis.
Boy, take me back to the opener. The first 3 games the Harbor Hawks played, the pitchers they faced were throwing 88 max. We've settled into the mid-Cape season.
0-1 the count to Cole McConnell, the LA Tech star. He waves at a fastball up in the count. 0-2 now.
95 up and in. Man, what are you supposed to do with that?
Lay off.
Yeah.
Probably would have been called a ball.
Yeah.
McConnell sports a .380 on base percentage. In addition to his .302 batting average, behind in the count 0-2 with the bases loaded and 1 away. Hawks looking to strike early. Here comes the 0-2. McConnell breaks his bat, hits a slow roller up the middle, bobbled by the shortstop. Did he not touch second base? He did not. Goodwin boots the ball, couldn't establish himself on the bag, and Mitch Jebb loaded and 1 away. Hawks looking to strike early. Here comes the 0-2. McConnell breaks his bat, hits a slow roller up the middle, bobbled by the shortstop. Did he not touch second base? He
barrel of the bat went over the Harwich dugout, back to the batting cages, almost behind.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I was looking at the shortstop trying to get the out at second.
Be a broken bat single there, too, for Cole McConnell. Score you a run, put him at, well, still leave him loaded, and in a good spot for Christian Moore. Como, first game without a hit. Couple of games ago, but got back on track last night.
Still batting .267 with a .389 OBP. Hot start for Moore. Hey, there's an off-speed pitch, 80 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's the.
There you go.
He's used that twice so far here in the top of the first, which is record-breaking for Raiselman.
Raiselman leans in and gets the signs from Levins. Ventrano, the first baseman's on the grass. Comes set, Christian Moore looking to come through for the Hawks early. Watches the ball, 1-1.
And Raiselman had a borderline elite spring at LSU the past spring, 42 1/3 with a 4.04 ERA, but those 66 strikeouts were eye-popping. And then Harwich last summer, 2-0 with 5 starts, 23 2/3 of 36 strikeout work.
An elite right-handed arm brings home the 1-1. Moore did not go around, and it did not find the zone. 2-1.
Oh boy, we are going to see a tight strike zone today, it seems. That right there is just below the belt and right down the plate. All right.
Hawks will take it. Bases remain loaded. One already home in the inning. Here comes the 2-1 from Raiselman. Way low, 3-1.
We have seen in this last week or so the Hawks pound Teddy McGraw, and then they pounded Carson Wisenhunt. So when you come in against these elite starters, how does it affect your confidence?
Harbor Hawks have bats.
Moore goes after a fastball, comes up empty, 3-2. Full count now as they're looking to get to Raiselman early.
Yeah, you got the payoff pitch ensuing with bases loaded, only one down here. If Moore can find a way to get on, Harbor Hawks score 1 or maybe more. You need to strike while you can.
Big spot here for Christian Moore. Raiselman comes set, high leg kick, brings home the pitch, smack to right field. Back towards the track, it'll stay in the yard. The catch is made out and right by Seidel. The throw will go to second base, as scoring easily is Tito Flores on the sacrifice fly. 2-0 Harbor Hawks.
Well, that's just what you want to do with it. Christian didn't try and do too much with that swing, served it out to right field. All you need to do is get it past the infield, and
the most underrated play in baseball is
sacrifice fly.
Sacrifice fly.
So runners remain, well now runners on the corners, remain on the base pass as Poncho Ruiz will come up to the plate. 2 runs already home for the Hawks, and it must feel good for these guys to strike early once again.
It's been the MO at least tonight and last night. Wasn't that way at Bourne, but in the end, the starting pitching and the pitching in general held down the fort.
First pitch to Poncho, misses outside.
Ruiz comes into this game still looking to get hot, only batting 179 as catcher, but we've talked about how tough it is to get going when you're only playing usually every other night.
Hard to find some consistency and some flow at the plate where you're not getting the regular at-bats that some of the other guys are getting. 1 out of Poncho. Goes after a fastball, can't connect, 1-1.
93 there on the heater from Raiselman, and boy howdy. The Harbor Hawks have been able to catch up to it.
Yeah. See if they can continue that, though.
Yeah, the 88-mile-an-hour fastballs, boy, you lock them up. But if you see 95, these Harbor Hawks are going yard.
1-1 the count to Poncho, the San Diego State standout. Runner goes, Poncho smacks it to short, and a nice catch is made by Nick Goodwin to end the inning. So the Hawks strike for 2 as they hold the lead 2-0 on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming out.
100%.
And as always, it's 100% recyclable. Plant bottle, designed to make a difference.
This BBB seal is a badge of honor. It's a sign that this is a business you can trust.
Hi. Oh, this is amazing.
Each year, millions of people see the BBB seal on a door or a window or a website and breathe a little easier. See the seal and know you've made the right choice. Find a business you can trust. Ask BBB.
Welcome back for the top of the second inning. Alejandro Rosario returns to the mound as we welcome you back. Austin Nakuda, Zach Berman, Drake Toll in the broadcast booth as the Harwich Mariners get off to a bit of a slow start at the plate in the top of the first inning. All 3 hitters going down looking on strikes, and Drake, it hasn't exactly been a hot start for this offense.
No, that's been kind of the MO this season. Slow starts for the Harwich Mariners, especially after losing 4 guys at Team USA out of their batting lineup in general. Hyannis has the 2nd most hits in the league at 114, whereas Harwich is 7th with 97 right now. They have 49 runs this season, which is 6th. Hyannis actually leads the league in triples with 4. Harwich is 4 behind them. Hyannis is 2nd worst in the league and actually hitting the long ball, while Harwich is 5th. They have 9 this season. That's the one vaguely bright spot the Harwich offense. And last but not least, the one big thing that I circled, Harwich, a league-low 42 walks. They do not walk very often. They like to swing early in counts, and they strike out. They have struck out 134 times this season.
Make it 137 after that top of the first inning.
That is true.
That
Good
is
math.
true.
Yeah, that is good math.
Quick on our feet today.
Carry the 4. Yep, yeah, you're right.
Here's Joe Vitrano, the first baseman, as he watches a called strike go in 1.
As wicked movement on that breaking ball out of the gate.
You and Wicked today.
Hey,
welcome to New England.
Throwing that in the vocabulary.
Vitrano batting 196 on the year with 1 homer, 8 runs batted in. He's behind 0-2 to Rosario, looking for his 4th consecutive punch-out to start the ballgame.
They didn't tell me there was an air show near the ballpark today. About 6 flyovers in the last half hour.
Busy day with 4th of July weekend coming up. Here's the 0-2.
Hello.
Alrighty.
I heard that one.
1-2 as Rosario. That one just slipped a bit out of the hand.
I mean, that does count as my fastball up and away, just not necessarily.
50 miles an hour on the throwback from Poncho. 1-2 the count to Vitrano, the first baseman. Here's the pitch. Hit on the ground to first. There's Hyannis, a slide. He's going to flip it to Rosario, covering, but the throw is not a good one as it gets by. And reaching base is Vitrano to lead off the inning. I don't believe anything. I don't know what they're going to rule with that. Should be an error.
Yeah, likely so. They're going to score to hit, which favors everybody all around pretty much. And to note as well, Rosario goes 95 over Poncho Ruiz's head on the pitch before that. It hit the whiteboard that has the lineups displayed almost exactly in the same spot that a foul ball from Falmouth hit it. You can see where the original divot is. You go up just a tad. There's where our friend Alejandro Rosario made his mark for the MLB scouts just behind that whiteboard.
That whiteboard is taking a beating.
Yeah. That's color analysis right there.
Kenny Lavari now stands in, sporting a .286 batting average, and goes after a first pitch, 0-1. The Mariners are not waiting around in the batter's box today. They're going after the first couple pitches.
Interesting strategy against a guy like Rosario that has so much divergence in what he throws. Don't know if it's necessarily a good strategy or not.
Here comes the 0-1, and he way out in front of that one at 84. So tough, Drake, to sit back on that pitch at 84 when the guy on the mound's pumping 95.
That's exactly it. When you have that kind of dichotomy between your fastball and your off-speed stuff, hello. Another one.
Here comes the 0-2. In the dirt, nice block by Poncho. Saves the runner from moving into scoring position. Runner on first is Joe Vitrano after his infield single. Man at the plate is Kenny Lavari. He's behind 1-2 in the count. Rosario on the mound, leans in, gets the signs from Poncho.
Lavari at Old Dominion at 278 in the spring, 344 OBP, 412 slugging.
Not bad at all.
No, that'll play.
Here comes the 1-2.
Oh.
93.
Said that was just a little high right there. Looked like it was on the plate, the outside part.
Lavari also not a stranger to the Cape League either. He played 12 games and 40 at-bats with Chatham last year. 162 average in those 12 appearances.
Here comes the 2-2. That one's popped up, drifting towards shallow left field. A trio of Hawks will converge on it, but it's Tito Flores who makes the catch and puts away Lavari for out number 1.
Pretty good speed there, and ground made up by Flores and Dominic Patelli and Mitch Jebb, who all converged on the baseball. But Tito Flores has turned out to be one of the sneaky, solid fielders out of this defense. We don't talk about that too much because Cole McConnell outshines almost all these guys. But Flores has done his job well in left field. Saw him make a diving play last night, stretching all the way out.
Yeah, Tito doesn't seem to be tested as much as McConnell in center. Haven't seen as many balls hit his way.
McConnell in center, it was a Tuesday game in Bourne. He got tested almost constantly.
Chris Newell at the plate goes after the first pitch. Again, the Harwich Mariners continuing to try to jump on the first pitch at every at-bat.
Now, we were told that Chris Newell's nickname in the dugout is Gel, and that's because apparently, per his coaches, he wears about as much hair gel in a week that I go through in maybe a year.
How much is that?
Not that much. A little dollop every day.
Oh.
The 0-1 hit on the ground between first and second into right for a base hit. Thinking third is Vitrano, but he'll hold it. Second as Matulia runs it in. A 1-out single puts runners on first and second for the Mariners.
Speaking of a sneaky, solid fielder, Matulia's got a cannon out there in right. I'd say it's pretty smart for Vetrano to not test it.
Rosario will have to deal with Tatum Levins, the catcher. Comes in batting 130 on the year, 3 for 23 with a run batted in. He's only struck out 3 times. He has walked once, so he's putting the ball in play, just yet to result in base hits. Big spot for the catcher here with runners on first and second, his squad trailing 2 runs early.
Levins out of pit, 319 in the spring, 421 OBP, 605 slugging with 15 home runs and 52 RBI.
His second year as a Harwich Mariner as he grounds that one foul.
Unsurprisingly, when you hit 15 home runs and your name is Tatum, you know what his nickname is? Tater.
Well, he led Pitt in average
They can't
hits,
call him that here, can they?
home
No,
runs,
that's what he's written as
RBI,
his lineup.
total bases, hit by pitch, and slugging.
I got bad news for you about his home runs on Cape.
Ooh.
Got to earn your nicknames, right?
Yes, you do. Somehow I've earned the nickname Zebo. Don't know what's triggered it.
0-1 the count. That one's hit on the ground at first. Hyannis plays it on a hop. He'll take it to first himself. For out number 2, runners do advance to second and third.
Now you've got 2 down with a runner at 2 and 3. You're in a spot where you've seen plenty of cases this season where opposing teams or even the Harbor Hawks have this very scenario with nobody out or only 1 out. With 2 down, you have a lot to work with. Rosario can keep attacking with a fastball, and you're facing William Hamner out of Alabama, who is a guy that pretty big pull guy. I'm sure the defense will prepare for such.
Well, Hammer has already been in the Cape League this season, just not with Harwich. He was on the YD Red Sox as he watches a called strike. He was cut by YD and picked up right away by Harwich on June 29th.
Yeah, he was a YD Red Sox yesterday.
Yes, that's correct. And with YD, he hit 136, scored a run, drove in 2, so has another chance at some success here in the Cape League as he's behind 0-1 to Rosario. Misses. And another guy on the field today was also with a different team to start the year. That's Mitch Jebb over at third base. Had a brief stint with Katuitt. The Harbor Hawks happy to scoop up Mitch.
No kidding.
I'd say he's been a fine addition.
That says so much about these players, too. The guys that get picked up by other Cape League teams that are instantly inserted in the starting lineup. Just goes to show not only how good this league is, but how good these guys are.
Here's the 1-1. Hit on the ground to second to Christian Moore. He scoops it. The throw to first is in time. Rosario works his way out of trouble, leaves runners stranded on second and third as we head to the bottom of the second on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Hey, Mama, what's up?
Did you switch my service from Verizon to T-Mobile? Yep.
T-Mobile has the only nationwide 5G.
Well, Mr. Know-it-all, let's see if you right about that.
Mama. Hey, Mama, I'm working.
It works at the pie shop.
T-Mobile's 5G works inside and out. Hey, what you need, Mama? I'm trying to watch the game with my boys.
It works in the park.
Oh, okay. Mama?
It works at the aquarium, in the parking garage, at the beach, in the elevator. It works in the movie theater, too. Oh, shush yourself. I'm talking to my baby.
You're driving me crazy.
I was just calling you to say thank you, baby. I love you.
I love you too, Mama. Yes, Mama.
It works in the kitchen. Tell Mama.
Mama?
5G, it works in the club.
Who are you on a club with?
All about it. Tell Mama.
Back live for the bottom of the second inning. Austin Nakuda, Zach Berman, Drake Toll welcoming you back inside the Tim Elstrom Broadcast Center overlooking McKeon Park as Don Patelli, Philip Matulia are due up, followed by Mitch Jebb. 8-9-1 for the Hawks, but a 2-0 start, guys, is exactly what Coach Beatty would like his team to be doing.
Yeah, you're in a good spot here when you get the 8-9-1 hitters already up in the second inning. And the Harbor Hawks' first inning was nothing short of exactly what the doctor being Mitch Beatty, or Eric Beatty, ordered. Mitch Jebb gets on immediately, and Tito Flores helps advance. And from there, it was just the Harbor Hawks doing what they've been able to do now 2 nights in a row, striking first.
Here comes Don Patelli, the man who started every single game at the shortstop position at Miami this season. Durable, reliable, dependable. 3 words that come to mind when you see Dom.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he wearing a new number today?
He is in a different jersey today. Typically we see him in 36, I believe it is.
Yep, because 36 is Patelli, then 38's Mitch Jebb to make up the left side of the infield, but
Now
not
we're
today.
Number 5 today.
Hey, we've seen some changed jerseys work out well for guys.
Patelli goes after a fastball, comes up empty, 2-1.
Notably, it was Ty Langberg wearing Brandon Llewellyn's jersey and throwing a gem against Chatham, and then we saw
Austin
Amaral, who was wearing Jackson Baumeister's.
And promptly threw a gem of his own.
And then Baumeister took his jersey back, starts the next night, throws a gem. That jersey has 10 innings under its belt in the last 3 days with 1 run allowed.
And now we'll see what Dominic Patelli can do in a new jersey.
Here comes 3-1 to the Miami shortstop as he goes after it, flies it to center field. Trotting back is Newell. It'll move over to the right and make the catch as it hung up there for quite some time.
Sounded good off the bat, but it just seemed to
Yeah, I thought there was
stall
enough
midair.
wind today. I really did, but couldn't will it over the fence. That's Howland. Now you get Philip Matulia, too, who is similar to Pancho Ruiz, has found himself in the lineup every other night or so, which you see out of the outfield guys as well, similar to the catchers.
What's most impressive about Philip is, although he's batting 160, he has a 344 on-base percentage as he hits a base hit. Phil Matulia has come around, and he'll start the inning off with a 1-out single.
Yeah, Matulia struggled mightily. I mean, I think you can kind of open it up and say that early in the year he did, and he's come around, like you mentioned now, to where you're getting hits out of him consistently, even in big spots. His fielding's there, too. He's really settled into his role on the Cape.
That'll bring us back to the top of the lineup card, and Mitch Jebb due up for the second time in 2 innings. Of course, he led off the bottom of the first with a single, later came around to score.
Jebb has a 4-game hit streak going his way right now.
That misses for a ball, 1-0. Mitch Jebb, a very relaxed batting stance. He'll have that bat on his shoulder, kind of leaned back a bit as he slowly loads up, gets ready for the pitch. You'll kind of see it here.
He's also scored 5 runs in his last 4 games. Shifty base running.
There goes the bat to the shoulder as Jebb winds up, hits that one back up the middle. Could be 2. Steps on the bag at second for 1. The throw to first. In time, an inning-ending double play. Well done by Nick Goodwin over at short. It goes 6-3 on the double play to end the inning. Hawks will still hold the 2-0 lead. And before we get to the third, we're going to toss it over to our sideline reporter, Bria Losick.
Thanks, guys. Before the game, I talked to Coach BJ Johnson about his starting pitcher on the mound, Alejandro Rosario from Miami. And BJ said that he is a very big student of the game. BJ said that between his first and second appearances, Alejandro came to the pitching staff and said, look, I need to make some adjustments. Can you guys help me out? He then applied some of those in his last appearance. And once he did, he looked over to the dugout, gave a little smile, and just thanked his coaches like that in the middle of the game. Now, Alejandro definitely has some electric stuff, according to Johnson, and he's definitely shown it today. He's topping out at about 93, 94, and mixing some breaking stuff in there that's hitting at about 85. Back to you guys in the booth.
Thank you very much, Bria. Another great report from the baseline. Intriguing stuff once again from Bria Losick. And Rosario back on the mound doing his best to limit the Harwich bats. So far through 2 innings, just 2 hits allowed to go along with a solid start on the mound with 3 punch-outs.
So the Harwich offense, too, I know I mentioned some stats about them and how they don't like to walk. They also don't necessarily love to get on base. Their OBP of 281 is 3rd lowest in the league right now, struggling at the plate. They have the 3rd lowest batting average as well at 205. So the Harbor Hawks don't necessarily have their work too far cut out with them when it comes to Harwich, especially because those Team USA guys are gone now and there's been so much lineup turnover. And that bodes well, gives you some more confidence when you got especially a guy like Alejandro Rosario trying to make his debut on the Cape as a starter, a gem.
That'll bring up David Smith, who's the 9-hitter today.
He is that, out of UConn.
That he is. Smith, a rising senior, first-year member of the Mariners, second-year member of the UConn Huskies.
What do you know about him, huh?
Well, I
What
know
a
he was
season
a
UConn had.
one-year transfer student from LaSalle.
1 for 15 this season on the Cape.
2-0 to David Smith.
Batting .66, no RBIs.
He was 5th on UConn in batting average this year at 307. So
decent UConn team. They were okay.
Just fine.
Not bad at all. 3-0, and Rosario thought he had himself a strike there.
Well, I think he did. Didn't quite get the call there. That's all right.
3-0 to David Smith. And a 4-pitch walk to lead off the inning. So Rosario issues the free pass to the 9-hitter, which means it'll be back to the top of the order for Press Kavanaugh.
When you're 1 for 15, as Smith is, you will always welcome a walk. He now stands on first base. You mentioned Kavanaugh coming to the dish, and Kavanaugh earlier in the game struck out to start the 1-2-3 top of the first, where Alejandro Rosario struck out all 3 that he faced.
Now, Harrison, you did. I just called you Harrison.
Yes, you did.
Unbelievable. Austin, you did mention that Kavanaugh was here last season.
I did.
And
called strike.
Just to finish what I was saying, you know, he had a .333 average in 27 games last year. So really an impressive season. He's looking to recreate that. Hasn't been the case thus far.
A mainstay of the lineup last year for Harwich as Preston Kavanaugh behind in the count to Rosario. Double play is in order here. It's the middle infield of Dom Patelli at short, Christian Moore at second.
Well, you want to know why I said Harrison? Because I was looking at the chat on our stream, and from our very own director of broadcast, the Hawks are hot.
The Hawks are hot. The 1-1 called strike as Kavanaugh will now sit behind the count at 1-2. Kavanaugh was second on the Mariners last year in hits, as that one is popped foul off to the right.
Can we talk about how impressive it was last inning? You get 2 guys on, and what does Rosario get out of it? Weak contacts, pop-ups, ground balls. He really fine-tunes his stuff to get out of jams.
See what he can do here with the leadoff man of the inning over on first. That's David Smith. Press Kavanaugh at the plate, fouls another one off. Kavanaugh had quite the battle in the top of the first inning. Went down on 9 pitches. See what happens here. Already fouled off a couple.
It's a way to start your day if you're Kavanaugh. Not the strikeout part, but at least throwing a few pitches into the wrinkle for Alejandro Rosario.
He led Harwich in batting average at .333 last summer and was tied for the lead in stolen bases with 7. And he was tied with a guy named Jordan Beck, a familiar name to those college baseball fans that are listening. Beck spent 2021 with the Harwich Mariners and a big influence on to who Christian Moore is over at second base. Learned a lot from Jordan Beck this season at Tennessee.
That guy's pretty good at the whole baseball thing.
Oh, yeah. He'll be going to the first round in just a couple of weeks, as that one's popped foul. Kavanaugh stays alive, still 1-2.
His team was pretty good, too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I don't have a great memory, but I do remember Tennessee doing well at the whole baseball thing.
Yeah, their ballpark struggled, but the play on the field did not.
I still like to get to Knoxville for a game, sooner or later.
Yeah, tickets will run you about $500. They only have 10 seats. Sorry.
1-2 the count to Kavanaugh. Here's the pitch. Runner goes. Pitch misses for a ball. The throw by Poncho is going to skip into center field. Not a great throw from the San Diego State catcher, and Patelli was not able to pick it. A stolen base for David Smith.
Not much you can do with that if you're Dominic Patelli, and fault doesn't go on the shortstop here for the Harbor Hawks. One skips away from you. Going to happen inevitably as a catcher, but puts one in scoring position with nobody down here at a great time for another strikeout against Kavanaugh.
Rosario gets the signs from Ruiz. Comes set, will glance over at Smith on second as he dances off the bag. Here comes the 2-2. Gets Kavanaugh fishing. Ruiz will have to clean it up to first. He does so successfully for out number 1.
Solid stuff there again. And what's interesting, too, about Kavanaugh's second strikeout, the 1, the 2, the 3 hole guys have all struck out. Nobody else on the roster did in the next 6 that Alejandro Rosario faced. So if the trend continues, you get Seidel and Goodwin going down swinging as well. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, strand another runner in scoring position. You won't hear any complaints from me.
Tommy Seidel back at the plate, 0 for 1, a backwards K on the book for him today. We'll go after the first pitch and ground it foul towards the Harbor Hawk Bat Boys. One of Coach Beatty's sons is a Bat Boy tonight. They both were Bat Boys last night in Falmouth.
One of Coach Beatty's sons was, in fact, wearing dinosaur socks before the game. Did you guys catch that?
Beatty had his slush puppy socks on as well. Big sock guy.
Yeah, big sock family, from what we've heard.
0-1 the count to Tommy Seidel. Here comes a pitch from Rosario. It's going to be blocked by Ruiz in the dirt.
Well, you know what Beatty's nickname was in college because of his sock antics?
That would be?
I was asking you guys.
Nope, don't know.
I feel like you're just going to say his name was Eric Beatty.
Well, this is
insert response here.
Big swing and a miss.
Well, what was his nickname?
I was asking you.
Oh.
0 for 2.
Oh, boy.
Well, you're setting me up for an answer.
Seidel was 12 for 13 stolen bases at Alabama this past spring and just barely takes a ball on the inside part of the plate with the off-speed from Rosario.
2-1 the count to the right fielder. It's been a little bit of a slow start, I'd say, on the mound for both teams. Rosario's thrown more pitches than he'd like, although no runs across. Weak grounder foul.
It's one of those situations where maybe your ERA and your WHIP both say very drastically different things. And we saw that last night with the starter across the way for Falmouth, a guy who had an ERA of 0 but a WHIP of, what, it was like 2.4.
Yeah, Rosario already at 51 pitches through 2 1/3. A lot of foul balls.
A lot of foul balls. Harwich doing their best. And we talked about they don't walk. Harwich does not typically walk. They swing at a lot of pitches as a team. Lowest walks on the Cape coming in, but only 42.
2-2 the count as Tommy Seidel checks his swing, stands back in. Here's the pitch. That one is cut on and missed. Big punch out for Rosario, his 5th of the ball game.
Well, do you notice a trend here? Because Cavanaugh and Seidel both went down looking their first respective times. Now they've gone both down swinging. Goodwin went down looking to end the top of the first. Wonder if Rosario maybe tries to get him hacking to end the frame.
Nick Goodwin back at the plate. Runner in scoring positions, David Smith. He led the inning off with a walk. Stole second base, and now the Harwich Mariners are 1 out away from leaving another runner stranded in scoring position. Here's the first pitch to Goodwin, called strike.
91 there. Rosario drops down on the fastball. We've seen it go as high as 94. He set 92 on the first one he threw. You're looking at throwing now 53, 54 pitches through less than 3 innings. Maybe it's catching up to him.
Checks the runner a couple times at second, and time is called by the batter, Nick Goodwin.
I think a big part of that, too, if you throw 50 pitches through 4 innings, you probably got a little more velo there where you're piling up these pitches at bat after at bat. Tougher to keep that velo up for a longer period of time.
Tough test at the plate in the form of Nick Goodwin, the 3-hitter. Spent 2021 with the Bourne Braves, who won the West Division, as he watches a pitch inside for a ball in that season. Nick Goodwin hit .221, a home run, 5 runs batted in 25 games with the Bourne Braves, so it certainly helps to have Cape League experience under your belt.
Interesting to see a guy stay on the Cape from last year's Bourne team and not follow Harvey Shapiro to Wareham like everybody else from that Bourne team did.
1-1 the count. That one's lined to left field. Flores is on the run. He'll drift over and make the catch to end the inning. So the Mariners strand another runner in scoring position as we head to the 4th inning, or the bottom of the 3rd, that is, on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
We all have obstacles, challenges at different points in life. I still push myself every single day, and the harder I push myself, the more I find myself drawn to wearing UFOs. The first time I put on a pair of UFOs, it was like someone released the pressure. It was so crazy. When you are recovered and can do more, that has a compounding effect on all aspects of your life. Stepping into a pair of UFOs, they're truly one of a kind. There's nothing like them.
Best ever? Good question. Wait, why'd he sound like Dr. J in your head? I've always sounded like Dr. J in my head, which means Dr. J's outside voice sounds like my inside voice? Which Coke? The doc would know. He got the world to call him doctor without going to med school. There's only one best ever.
Welcome back for the bottom of the third inning. The Harbor Hawks coming back up to the plate, led by Tito Flores, followed by Justin Hyannis, and in the hole, Nolan Shaniel. Austin Nakuda, Zach Berman, Drake Toll in the broadcast booth, as should be a good inning to get something started for the Hawks. They did strike for 2 in the bottom of the first, but now with the 2-3-4 due up, a chance to add on to that.
Yeah, for the Harbor Hawks, if you can add a couple here, again, the pitching has been elite. They would have won both games against Bourne and then again against Falmouth if they only had 2 runs altogether. But Eric Beatty's offense, they're not content with just 2 up now. And you have an opportunity with Tito Flores leading things off to get a hot start here in the bottom of the third.
Flores singled and later came around to score back in the bottom of the first inning, raising that batting average once more, as it's now up to 340 on the year. Raiselman back on the mound for another inning of work. The first pitch of the inning is a fastball as he...
Say hello,
yeah.
Tito Flores.
Chin music.
340 as it sits right now would be good enough for third, tied with Jack Duffy from Bourne in the league in batting average.
Well, the Hawks are no strangers to Michigan outfielders leading the Cape Cod Baseball League in batting average. As Clark Elliott was the batting champ last season, the Michigan center fielder. Now Flores has a chance to climb the ranks even further. Here's the 1-0. Popped up, out of play.
Well, 1-2-3 in this Hawks lineup tonight, Big Ten, and it's a pretty significant day in that conference.
Flores in the year, 17 hits, 52 at-bats, 10 runs as well. He has now gotten a hit in 14 of the 15 games he's played.
Well, he's been a catalyst of so many of these big rallies that the Hawks have put together this season.
Here's the 1-1 from Raiselman. That one is a fastball that's going to miss up in the zone. Flores thought about going around. They'll check it first, and it's confirmed that he didn't swing.
Flores last night was 2 for 5, scored a run, struck out once, built up a 3-game hitting streak now, trying to build off the 10-game hitting streak he had.
Here's the 2-1 to Tito. Goes after a fastball, can't find the ball, 2-2. Another beautiful night of baseball here at McKeon Park, and another big crowd as the 4th of July weekend approaches here on Cape Cod. Here's the 2-2 to Tito as he skies that one to center field. Playable for Newell as he makes the catch for out number 1.
Just got under it a little bit, but the Hawks have missed some deep fly balls, not by that much. So their swings are right there. You just feel like someone's going to connect with a long ball sooner or later. Of course, Hyannis, only 5 home runs so far this season. It's good for 9th in the league.
Here's Justin Hyannis, who's 0 for 1 to this point with a flyout. But what a year he had at Illinois in 2022. He goes after the first pitch and skies it back to Newell in center field. And he makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down here in the bottom of the third.
Well, now you deal with Nolan Shaniel coming to the plate now, who's really starting to feel it. Shaniel was 1 for 3 yesterday, 1 for 4 the night before, and 2 for 3 in Game 2 against Chatham on Sunday. So quietly has a 3-game hitting streak, and Shaniel was projected to be one of the better players on this roster and is starting to show that consistently now.
To me, the 16 homers to go with a 477 OBP is incredibly telling of what type of player you're getting, because not only does he have the power, but he gets on base at such an impressive clip.
Well, we've seen a few of these Harbor Hawk guys start the year in slumps. As we get toward the middle of the season, you're seeing that start to slowly chip away. Shaniel is a great example of that.
County's even now at 1-1 to Nolan Shaniel, who's at the DH spot today. He did walk in the first inning, but was left stranded over at second base. 1-1 the count. Here's the pitch from Raiselman. Hit on the ground to third, fielded there by Lavari. Throw on the run is scooped by Ventrano at first to end the inning. 1-2-3. The Hawks go down in order, but they still hold a 2-0 lead over the Harwich Mariners on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
We also want to recognize
Diet Coke? Who are you, my mom?
You should be so lucky, because you know what moms do? Well, I suppose we should start with the whole giving you life thing. It seems like that should be enough. No? Okay. What about her ability to send shockwaves through the neighborhood without saying a word? Or whip up a ridiculous handmade costume that you forgot to tell her about? Not to make you happy, but because she had a reputation to uphold. She invented rideshare, called it carpool, and did it for free. She didn't need those dating apps either. You copied her jeans, her spin, her shoes, her scrunchie, and whether you realize it or not, her music.
Why not?
Oh, and she can win any argument in 4 words.
Because I said so.
Everything you're trying to do, she's already done it, did it better, and she did it with a Diet Coke in her hand. So, drink what your mama gave you.
Welcome back for the top of the 4th inning. Alejandro Rosario returns to the mound. 3 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 1 walk, and 5 punch-outs so far for the right-hander. And as that one just took the crowd mic out, thank you, Alejandro. Down it goes, and we'll get that fixed soon for you folks as Rosario finishes his warm-up tosses.
How could you do that to the poor microphone?
That thing went for a tumble.
I got to tell you, it's good to be back here. We've been on the road the last couple days. We're going to be on the road again tomorrow and Saturday night. So nice to be back at the old home digs.
I asked Coach Beatty about that in the pregame on the Dugout Show. He said home or away, doesn't matter to us. We're going to prepare the same.
Sounds like a baseball coach's answer.
That indeed is. That first pitch misses inside to Joe Vitrano, the first baseman's 1 for 1 today with a base hit.
Well, it's tough to get comfortable, too. Not to say you're uncomfortable playing at home, but during your college season, that's where you do everything. Here on the Cape, you just got here. Hello. There's nary a difference in your home ballpark and a visitor ballpark, really, especially for the first couple of weeks.
And for some of these guys, they may not be living in Hyannis. They may be living down the road near to Katuitt.
Closer to Katuitt, exactly.
Closer to even YD. So even though, as that one's cut on and missed by Vitrano, 1-2, even though this is home, you know, a lot of times they might be closer to another team, which is just something you don't see a lot.
And it's not like the travel is that bad either.
No.
Your longest trip, at least from Hyannis, is Wareham.
It is now that we hit the 4th of July season.
Here's the 1-2 to Vitrano. That one's hit well to left center field, got some carry to it. McConnell's running over. It's going to get down off the wall. Vitrano's hustling around first, heading for second. He'll hold there. It's a stand-up double for Joe Vitrano, his 2nd hit of the day, and the Mariners have the leadoff man in scoring position.
Good piece of hitting there from Vitrano, a guy at BC this past year had 13 home runs to 8 doubles, so he's privy to hitting the ball a long way. And now for the 2nd straight inning, Rosario has to work with a base runner on and nobody out.
That'll bring up Kenny Lavari, who flew out to left field in his first and only at-bat so far. In 2022 at Old Dominion, 1 of 3 players to start all 58 games. He started every single one of those games at third base. Says something about the type of glove you have in addition to that bat. Rosario, long pause, brings home the pitch. Fastball called strike.
Well, it said something about his glove. We saw the play he made to wrap up the last frame. Nice little charge and throw across the diamond, made a borderline routine.
Here comes the 0-1 from Rosario. Foul tipped off the glove of Poncho, 0-2. Kind of a quiet night at the ballpark compared to some other nights, but still a really good crowd in attendance.
I mean, those whole left field bleachers, they are packed to the gills tonight.
0-2 is the count with Kenny Lavari at the plate. Joe Vitrano over on second base after his leadoff double. Here comes the 0-2 from Rosario. Hits that one foul.
I'll take you guys back to that game against Katuitt earlier this year. Remember that one, the home game between the Harbor Hawks and the Kettleers?
Oh, how could I not?
That was the last time Hyannis allowed more than 5 runs in a game. It's 10 straight games where the Harbor Hawk pitching staff has not allowed more than 5, and you don't see that too often here on the Cape. Every 5 to 7 games or so, you'll have one game where your pitching struggles at some point here, but not really for the Harbor Hawks in that stretch.
Yeah, lots of traffic during that game as the Kettleers were on base often.
Well, they do that often.
Haven't seen a ton of that in the last couple of weeks. Tonight there's been a few Mariners on, but nothing's come of it to this point. Here's the 0-2. High fastball. That's a pitch you want to get a swing at.
Yeah.
Not going to get a strike call, but something on 0-2 you don't mind firing in there.
Hey, Katuit's actually losing for once tonight, and they are losing to the team we will see tomorrow.
That would be
the Wareham Gatemen.
Oh, boy. The Gatemen have struggled their last few, so they've given Katuit fits, though, of all the teams.
That they have. Rosario's given the Mariners fits as that one's flown to left field. Flores ranges back, makes the catch. Runner Vetrano might tag, but he'll instead just deke and head back to second. So a little bit of a loud out number 1, but that'll still hold Vetrano in scoring position at second base.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have tagged there if I was Vetrano. Good move to go back, but we've seen so many struggles in the outfield this season on Cape Cod. It really almost just makes you feel lucky to have an outfield where a guy like Tito Flores can just play the ball that cleanly. Read it right off the bat, took a couple steps back, made it look nice and easy.
Chris Newell stands in for the second time tonight, 1 for 1 with a single. He was stranded over at second base as a fastball at 92 was a called strike. Newell returning to Harwich for his second year.
Out of Cincinnati.
Did have 5 home runs.
You'll see the infield shade Oppo as well.
Last year in Harwich, 5 homers. And 5th on the team with 15 runs batted in and had 4 stolen bases for the Mariners. 1-1 with 1 away and 1 on. As you mentioned, Drake infield shifted. We're starting to see the Harbor Hawks play towards the scouting reports and play towards these pull hitters. That one is hit opposite of the shift. Flores has to run in after initially retreating. He does so still in plenty of time for out number 2.
Now, Rosario's not out of the woods yet here in the 4th inning, and he still has a runner in scoring position, but so far through 3, he's done an impeccable job of working through that. When he's got a scoring threat on for Harwich, he's just been lights out. You see the scores around the Cape ticker at the bottom of the screen as well.
Look at that. Oh, and just like that, Wareham has allowed Katuit to come back and tie the game.
Yeah, that one at the bottom of the 6th, Orleans and Brewster. Big thanks to Ellie Gibson, Abby Stokes, Mike Maynard, our producers, for getting that set up for us tonight. Now score ticker
fantastic.
that runs.
Tatum Levin's back at the plate. He grounded out to first. 2 away in the inning, runner on second. Here's the first pitch from Rosario. It's a called strike, 0-1, 91 on the fastball.
See, the velo's not quite what it was for Rosario, starting to dip down, but when you're still sitting at 91, 92, it's what you saw out of the starters last night for the Harbor Hawks and Falmouth.
0-1 fouled off, 0-2. Rosario suddenly 1 strike away from getting out of trouble in the inning. It started off with a leadoff double, but quite quickly he's retired the next 2 batters.
Looks like it tagged our home plate umpire in the right arm. See him shaking it off. Goes up and has a conversation with Levins. Levins said, "Hey, where'd that hit you?" And Blue pointed at it. Levins said, "Oh, I got hit there once too." Pretty good conversation. Seldom do you see, you see the umpires, when a catcher gets hit, they'll call time and go talk to the pitcher. This scenario, Levins didn't throw a bone.
Well, a Harwich ball boy just chucked about 5 baseballs back towards the respective Hyannis ball boys.
They always send him to the home side because the home ball boys are responsible for bringing the baseballs to the umpire. That one misses. 1-2 now to count.
Hey, you know I love those. The out and away fastball ahead in the count.
Lights have come on here as well.
Where do you go here in this 1-2 pitch?
A strike. Fastball inside. 97.
97.
Got a bird in the booth, too.
1-2 is a fastball inside. Where did that miss?
97, just a little too fast for the umpire to see it, I think. Loud bird.
2-2, 2 away. The man who wears number 2 for the Mariners at the plate. 2s all around. A man on second base. Here comes the pitch from Rosario. Popped foul, drifting towards the Harbor Hawk armbar, and it will land without any play being made. So the count will hold where it is at 2-2.
Levin's 3 for 23, 130, 1 RBI in the year. Solid stuff. Tends to pull the baseball. 50% pull hitter.
His second consecutive year as a Harwich Mariner. Another returner for this squad as the 2-2 is hit on the ground to second. Christian Moore ranges to his left. The flip on to first is in time, just by a step to end the inning. So Rosario strands another man in scoring position. He's through 4 clean innings on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
That chip on the shoulder, that started at a very, very young age. People's expectations are they're cool, they're fun, but mine are bigger.
When you play in New York, they want to see winners. It doesn't matter if it's a Monday or a Friday or a Saturday. You got to come with it, or those fans will let you know.
Pick one thing from me, pick one other thing from another player, make it your own, you turn to who you want to be.
What motivates me is the unknown. You know, how good can I be? You get away from the lights, you get away from the camera.
Mientras más presente yo esté en la caja de batería, más éxito tengo.
Man, how can you not keep it fun, man? This is a kid's game.
If you could go back and tell 10-year-old Francisco one thing, what would it be?
You're a bad mother.
Welcome back inside the Tim Elstrom Broadcast Center as the Harbor Hawks hold a 2-0 lead over the Harwich Mariners. Austin Nakuda, Drake Toll, and Zach Berman welcoming you back as you get a beautiful shot of Judy Walden Scarefile Field at McKeon Park. Harbor Hawks coming back up to bat. McConnell, Moore, Poncho due up here. As Drake, the bats have got off to a quick start in this ball game, as Rosario has also been solid on the mound.
Yeah, they have, and when you get that combination again from the Harbor Hawks, has been consistent across the last 7 games where they're undefeated. Well, it goes well for you as it has here with a 2-0 lead, and you're facing a Harwich team that is right now second worst in the league in earned runs with 60. Second most runs allowed overall at 68, and that 8-run differential is second worst in the league as well. Those coming from different errors, assorted errors across the defense, and you're facing a Harbor Hawk team second in the league, batting .235. Harwich has also surrendered 119 hits coming into this game. That's only better than Falmouth, who's surrendered 120, so they've certainly struggled on the bump this season.
Speaking of hits, here's Cole McConnell, 1-for-1 with a single and a run driven in tonight. He also batted .336 at Louisiana Tech. I mean, that batting average is...
Yeah, absurd. Now, you know, Drake Toll, we have seen the Harbor Hawks display the ability to get some insurance runs in these games, but they typically don't come until later. I'd like to see them.
McConnell skies it to center. Newell is there, makes the catch, 1 up, 1 down.
Just to finish my thought, I would like to see if maybe they could start adding these insurance runs earlier in the games, give their pitchers a little bit of breathing room. Because as we've seen, you know, 1-2 runs, that's usually not enough to win a ball game. 1 wasn't enough to win yesterday.
1 was not enough.
2 would have done it.
2 would have done it. 3 would have done it. 4, but 5 was the magic number in the last 2 ball games. Christian Moore now steps back in. He drove in a run on a sac fly in the first inning. Helped give the Harbor Hawks an early 2-0 lead.
Maybe even a bigger storyline is the way that Raiselman has settled in here. He has only thrown to this point 44 pitches through 3 1/3. Not bad at all. 27 strikes, 17 balls.
And surprisingly, no strikeouts yet.
Yeah. He's cleaned things up, though, since that first inning where he really got roughed up.
He's still sitting 94, too, so this guy's velocity is still there, even a little bit deeper into this game.
Bend, don't break.
Christian Moore been one of the most consistent hitters since joining the team. Also has a double and a triple on the year, in addition to a couple of singles. 2-1 the count now to Moore.
This Harwich team, too, you don't want to face them in dodgeball. They've hit 20 batters. That's a league high. Their pitching struggles don't end there, too. They've thrown the 4th most wild pitches at 15.
I mean, 7 of those those hit batsmen came in one game.
Breaking ball called strike, slowed it down to 79. He doesn't throw it often, but when he has thrown it tonight, it's worked well.
Yeah.
2-2, 1 away. Raiselman gets the signs from his catcher, Levins. Now comes set. A couple of pauses, and now here comes the 2-2. Moore stays alive, and that's what Christian Moore has done so well, has been adjust late in counts, even for somebody so young like him. Not a ton of experience under his belt. He's been able to stay alive and show tremendous plate discipline.
Yeah. Really like what we've seen out of him. Throws a wood bat in his hands, and looks like he's been using it for the past 6 months.
Here comes the 2-2 once again. Misses and brings the count to full at 3-2.
You see a lot of these guys that overanalyze their at-bats with the wood bat. They start attacking things differently and trying to play because the bat is so different. Christian Moore is the guy who says, look, I'm not going to think about it. I'm just going to swing and hit the ball.
That's been his method so far. It's worked quite well. There's a reason he's in the lineup every night. Here comes 3-2. Fouls it off. Stays alive, and Christian Moore is really built up a reputation for becoming a very tough out in the middle of this lineup.
I mean, he's only a freshman, too. You don't see this kind of plate discipline, this level of, I'd say, baseball IQ. He's wise beyond his years, the dish. You don't see that very often, a freshman.
Raiselman comes set once again, brings home the full count pitch. Moore slaps it to left center field for a base hit. What an at-bat by Christian Moore. He takes him to a full count, fouls off a pitch, puts the next one in play for a one-out single.
There's Moore again, finding the pitch that he wants. Pulls a Riku Nishida. He's going to foul off a few until he finds one he knows he can get a base hit and solid wood on. He's got it, and now with 1 on and only 1 down, what can Pancho Ruiz do to try to get hot? He's got maybe the most power on this team. We just have not seen it displayed.
Yeah, he hit the ball hard, but it was right at the shortstop, Nick Goodwin, to end the first inning. See if Pancho can have some better luck in this at-bat. First pitch to Pancho is fouled off the netting behind home plate. Was going after a first pitch fastball at 94.
Just want to go back to the single there for a second. You'll see sometimes if a guy gets gifted a hanging breaking ball, they'll try and swing for the fences with it. Once again, speaks to how Christian Moore sees the ball, doesn't try and do too much with it as opposed to just serve it in the left field.
And while Pancho's bat's yet to heat up here on the Cape, it was pretty hot all season at San Diego State as that one's hit on the ground to short. Goodwin flips onto second for one. Throw to first is by the first baseman, Vetrano. He couldn't pick it as Pancho dives back to first base. He rounded into fair territory. Not exactly what you want your guy to do there, but luckily after the missed throw is Pancho going to be safe at first on the fielder's choice.
Yeah, Pancho's got the light tower power, and as a product of that, his base running skills maybe doesn't have the acumen that Mitch Jebb or Riku Nishida bring to the table. You saw him round around first base there and then belly flop back in. Thankfully, he's safe.
Dom Patelli now due up here. Flew out to center field in the second inning. Second time at the plate. He's become a consistent man in the lineups. That one's sent to the backstop. Pancho is going to hustle to second base.
Go, Pancho, go.
You got a runner in scoring position with 2 away.
Pancho Ruiz swiping bags as we are accustomed to his doing.
That's one way to put it.
Maybe not historically accurate all the way.
Patelli was known as an elite contact hitter at Miami this season, as he's ahead in the count 2-0. We've also seen the last couple of games a really improved plate discipline as he started to really understand what the zone's going to be here in the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Yeah, you certainly have to have that. If you can even work walks consistently, again, a la Riku Nishida, pull your OBP as high as possible. That'll keep you in good standing with your coaches on the Cape.
Goes after a pitch, comes up empty, does Patelli. Count moves to 2-1. No Riku Nishida in the starting lineup tonight, but we've seen him used late in games as a defensive replacement, a pinch hitter, or even a pinch runner. So
Sometimes you do question the production from Riku Nishida, and you think, well, when am I going to get consistent hits out of this guy? But it's, again, you got to look at that OBP and the way he gets on base that makes him so valuable.
He grinds out at-bats, sees a ton of pitches, and when he's on the base paths, we've seen him have success trying to steal bases.
He is not going to hit a walk-off home run. Accept that, but understand that he's still one of the toughest outs, if not the toughest out on this team.
Here comes the 2-2 with 2 away to Dom Patelli. Fouls it off again and stays alive for at least another pitch.
Like, even when he's not starting, you can usually expect Riku in a close game to be the first guy off the bench, and that really speaks to the volumes of the kind of player you're getting in him.
You're going to see Jacob Campbell oftentimes in pinch hit situations, and then Riku's the guy who pinch runs, defensive replacement too. Might see Campbell later in this game, but the 2-2 to Patelli misses low. He'll run the count full.
That is a pitch that Dom Patelli would swing at maybe 2-3 weeks ago. You want to talk about a guy that has built up plate discipline? Right there. Patelli has 4 walks in his last 3 games, and you've really seen the work he's put in at the plate to build those numbers up even further.
Phil Matulia on deck. Here comes the 3-2 to Patelli. He lines that one, but it's right at the second baseman Smith to end the inning. So the Hawks do strand a man over at second base, but they also do maintain a 2-0 lead on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
What are you looking forward to? Adding a takeout window.
And more locations.
Paying off my student loans.
Juggling my 4 small businesses and staying sane.
Raising my allowance.
Finishing my painting and starting the next one.
Catching a keeper. Cashing anything.
Making the most of my retirement.
Checking my balance and hopefully having one.
Whatever you want for your family, your business, or your community, talk to us at Cape Cod 5 because we're looking forward to helping you. Coke Zero is now Coke Zero Sugar with great Coke taste. Some people were excited to hear the news. Some were skeptical. So we're not going to have the star of the show you're watching come out and say, "You'll love it." No special jingle written by this week's hottest pop star. No famous internet celebs who happen to be holding the label just so. Okay, maybe just one little pour shot. The only thing that will make you believe Coke Zero Sugar has great Coke taste is trying it yourself. Ice cold Coke Zero Sugar. Try one today.
Welcome back for the top of the 5th inning, and that's going to be a new arm on the mound, so that means Alejandro Rosario's day is done as he gives away to the left-handed pitcher from Virginia, Jake Berry.
Not that Jake Berry.
Yep, been accustomed to that line following up when Jake Berry comes into the ball game, so let's get you the final line on Alejandro Rosario as he continues his solid start to his Cape Cod career. 4 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 1 walk. And 5 punch-outs. A real good night for the Miami right-hander.
Just about as much as you could possibly ask for out of Rosario, and he battled through some competitive at-bats, worked his pitch count up, and, hey, was still able to do more than enough to put his team in position to win. At the end of the day, that's what you're looking to do as a starter.
The 6'10" left-hander Jake Berry will come back onto the bump after we saw him just a couple of days ago. He's thrown 3 1/3 this summer, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, and 1 strikeouts. He is 1-0 on the young season with a 2.70 ERA. Has kind of progressed into a reliable arm in his short time here in Hyannis, but let's see what we can get out of the left-hander. Maybe 2 innings is what Coach Beatty would like tonight, as this is the game 2 of a 7-straight-day stretch of baseball.
Yeah, you've yet to see him go the full 3 innings, but you've already mentioned he's 1 2/3 against Chatham and then 1 2/3 against Brewster. Throws every 4 days or so and has only given up that 1 earned run, has walked 1, struck out 1, faced a total of 16 batters and given up 4 hits. So the whip is not exactly where you want it to be, but he's still done fine and getting outs where he needs to.
He did start 9 games at Virginia in the 2022 season, so if you need to, he could give you a couple of innings down the stretch. We've often seen some Harbor Hawks relief pitchers be moved into the rotation after making a couple appearances. We saw that with Rosario tonight getting the start. Magdiel Cotto is scheduled to start tomorrow night. And the first pitch of the inning by Jake Berry to Will Hammander is fouled off.
Did I hear that correctly? Magdiel Cotto is starting tomorrow night.
That is must-listen radio. Absolutely.
That's what I saw.
Cotto tomorrow, I believe Fincher Saturday.
That's the plan, according to the...
Fincher does that strikeout thing.
He does. Here's the 0-1. 0-2.
Yeah, pretty good 3-day lineup there.
Friend of the broadcast booth, Magdiel Cotto.
Yes.
Here comes the 0-2 to Hamiter. Through the 5-hole of Poncho Ruiz into the backstop, 1-2.
Hopefully there aren't any goalie scouts here because right through the wickets.
Hamiter is 0 for 1 with a ground out on the day. Jake Berry on the mound looking to retire, the first man he faces. Here comes the 1-2. Fouled off into the parking lot, and as we see it go, just missing a car.
That was my car.
Oh, you're the white Nissan?
That's the one.
Well, I have news for you. It just hopped over your roof.
Good deal.
Hey, you already got a couple zip ties up front.
Put a dent in it. It would it'd be right at home. Got T-boned a while back.
Oh.
Everybody's okay.
That's good to hear. Here's the 1-2. And a called strike 3. Jake Berry starts the inning with a punch out as that didn't leave the shoulder of Hamiter on that pitch. Nice pitch on the outside corner.
How you say good morning, good afternoon, good night. Hamiter was a YD Red Sox yesterday, is a Harwich Mariner today, and so far on his day, Hamiter is 0 for 2 with a K.
That'll bring us back to the 9-hitter. David Smith drew a 4-pitch walk and stole second base. He's going to be more aggressive in this at-bat and foul off the first pitch that he sees. And Zach, we've seen Jake Berry a couple times, and now we'll see if he can go a couple of innings. And he's definitely been impressive, even though the hits are a little higher than you'd like in the first couple of appearances.
Well, you've mentioned longevity as...
Ground ball to short. There's Dom Patelli. He fields it cleanly. Throw to first is in time. A closer play than Patelli would have hoped for, but still a strike in time for the second out.
Like this Harbor Hawk infield has some swagger. They don't mind making a play close.
Nope, they don't. They're going to take their time because they know they have it. They have a cannon to that left side of the infield from Patelli to Jeb. So they, even if they take an extra second, they can zip it over there in the air.
Well, Christian Moore, too, he's got a cannon, just doesn't quite put it on display. He'll lob it just in time for the theatrics' sake.
Here's Press Kavanaugh once again for the third time. He's 0 for 2, a pair of punch-outs, and he's already behind 0-1 to Jake Berry.
Just to finish up what I was saying, we've mentioned we would love to see some longevity out of Jake Berry. He's only gone 1 2/3 in both of his appearances. And, you know, you're in the top of the 5th inning. You'd like to see maybe 2-3 innings out of him tonight.
Already talked about how the bullpen will be used pretty strategically over the next few days. The arm barn. But the Harbor Hawks have already had a good go at that the last couple. They've got plenty of arms at their disposal tonight and then moving forward. And, Zach, you have hinted at it. It gives you more confidence and more leeway with your bullpen when you can get a big lead early.
Insurance is so key to how you can operate a game. And also, you know, in the last week or so, really, since this win/tie streak has taken place, you really do have to credit how Coach Beatty and this coaching staff has managed the bullpen because it has been borderline top-notch. Every button they seems to press seems to be off right more often than it isn't.
2-2 now the count, as Kavanaugh is in danger of striking out for the third time on the night. Berry shakes off a couple of signs from Poncho, leans in very closely to read that sign. Now winds back up for the 2-2. Breaking ball, tapped foul.
That 73-mile-an-hour breaking ball is beautiful, putting it just out of the reach of Kavanaugh, but it still looked like it would settle in the strike zone. That's the best breaking ball we've seen Jake Berry throw so far this season.
Tough pitch to stay on. Here comes the 2-2.
Oh.
Just misses below the zone, full count now.
Look at the breaking ball, too. Kind of had the Wisenhunt slurve look to it. Breaking down at you quickly, but also the movement left to right makes that so tough to touch.
Here's a 3-2. Ground ball back up the middle, off the glove of Berry. Patelli spins, throws. in time. Dom Patelli is a defensive wizard over at the shortstop position. As we take another look, the ground ball back up the middle, hits Barry's glove. Patelli spins, throws a laser to first, and what a play by the Miami shortstop to end the inning as the Harbor Hawks still lead it 2-0 before we get to the bottom of the fifth. Let's toss it over to our sideline reporter, Bria Losick.
Alongside JD and Sawyer Stone from the Harbor Hawks Junior Cape League team. Now, JD, you're the coach of the Harbor Hawks, and you said that this league is just to get the fundamentals down, and your season just ended. What were the boys working on this season?
This season, they worked on hitting the ball off of live pitching. So the goal was at the end of the season that nobody used a tee, and that was a fact. Fielding ground balls, throwing it to first base, running through first base was a big one this year. Big success.
And the boys got to run out with the team before the game. What's it like to have your guys out here learning from the older guys?
Oh, it's awesome. Dream come true for a baseball fan, having them watch these guys, the best players in the nation. It's just exciting, and he was pumped for this for the past week. So it's great.
Sawyer, what position do you play?
Third base.
A third baseman. So I think we have a future Harbor Hawk, maybe? Is that true?
Yes.
And I heard that you have a special message for Harbor Hawks listeners.
The Hawks are hot.
You heard it here. Back to you guys in the booth.
You heard it here first. The Hawks are hot, and that is the message around the ballpark tonight. Drake, we started it, I think.
I think that's the future third baseman for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. That kid's got it. Whatever it is, he's got it. Give him a jersey, Eric,
Fantastic
baby.
interview.
I hope if he hasn't been a ball boy, he should be the next ball boy.
Get him in the booth.
Well, we just kind of did.
Get him back in the booth. He's good luck.
Harbor Hawks have had good luck. 7 straight without losing. 5-0-2.
Philip Matulia to lead off the inning. 1 for 1 tonight with a base hit. Goes after the first pitch he sees. Didn't hit the crowd mic or the whiteboard this time, but did hit the backstop and ricochet to the mound.
At what point am I allowed to credit the haircut?
Whose haircut?
For what?
Well, the morning after the Brewster loss, I
Where
got a
is
haircut.
this going?
And since that haircut, the Hawks have not lost a game.
You know what else happened that day?
What else happened?
I think it rained. So basically, this could be, since the last time it rained, the Harbor Hawks have not lost.
Well, I got some bad news for you. It's supposed to rain on Saturday.
Supposed to and is are different things, though, here in New England. The 0-1, 0-2.
Why is it different in New England compared to everywhere
Well,
else?
it's a little bit different because
like every
on
guy
Saturday,
says that.
A rain delay
that's
is
the weather in New England.
Well, rain delay is
the
tough
weather in
because
Tampa.
Saturday, Katuitt
It's
doesn't
the weather
have
in
lights.
Phoenix. The weather's like that
It's
everywhere.
not going to rain in Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix is the coldest place I've ever been.
For a baseball game, yes.
They do have a hockey rink, so I can see that.
It's indoor.
Indoor, yeah.
Oh, is it? I thought there was outdoor hockey in Phoenix, Arizona. 1-2 the count.
But you thought incorrectly. Why
Well,
would you
hey,
think
you know
that?
Clearly didn't
You know the
think that.
Coyotes are playing at ASU's rink. They got
Who are the
kicked out-
Coyotes?
The NHL team in Phoenix. Are
Oh.
they relevant? Not really, but they're playing at
The
Arizona
Coyotes in
State's rink.
Phoenix?
Apparently.
What they have is snowstorms, according to Zach Berman.
Only during baseball games.
Only during baseball games.
Here comes the 1-2 to Philip Matulia, and he goes down swinging for the first out of the bottom of the 5th inning.
Bring on Mitch Jebb, the one-hole hitter for the Harbor Hawks and maybe the hottest bat on this team now. Talk about the punch that you get with Mitch Jebb, who's followed up by Tito Flores. Then you bring in Justin Hyannis, Shaniel McConnell. Those guys are giving you a lot of production in the 1 through 5 spots, namely Jebb, Flores, and McConnell right now.
Jebb 1 for 2 tonight, a single and a run scored for the Michigan State infielder. He's played third, he's played short, a little bit of second base as well. We've seen him at all 3 of those for the Hawks this season.
Well, our scoreboard operators are currently eating those SpongeBob ice pops. You ever have one of those?
No.
You've never had one? Drake, what flavor is a SpongeBob ice pop?
Bubblegum.
It's bubblegum flavored.
That's a strike. We haven't seen that called very often tonight, have we?
No, we have not.
Was it called strike?
No, it was
Didn't
called a
look-
ball.
Yeah, it didn't look like it was
called a
called
ball,
strike.
very surprisingly. a tight zone in tonight's ball game.
2-0 as
Levens tried hard on that one.
Oh, man.
Raiselman's been great so far as he still remains on the mound after a little bit of a rocky first inning. He's settled in as Jeb draws a 4-pitch walk.
Mitch Jeb doing the thing where he gets on base again any way possible, and boy, howdy, has that been his MO here lately.
Probably not the guy you want to put on base, because even when he doesn't necessarily steal, as now Harwich will have a meeting on the mound, he gets into the heads of opposing teams, opposing defenses, and we saw it mainly against Bourne on Tuesday night. When he starts wrecking havoc, it throws a whole team out of whack. It throws a pitcher's rhythm out of whack. It throws defensive rhythms out of whack.
Jeb has 7 stolen bases this season. He's been caught 3 times. Both of those lead the team. Jeb has had a 4-game hit streak that has expanded to 5 during tonight's game. His current OBP, well, this guy's just been pretty much beyond good since he started 0 for 10 this season. Mitch Jeb now sitting at .381 in the on-base percentage.
That will bring Tito Flores to the plate with 1 away and Mitch Jeb over on first. He is a stolen base threat, as you just mentioned, Drake, and he did that at Michigan State as well. 20 for 28, swiping bags there.
Flores at the plate now, .386 OBP, .327 average coming in.
Going to go on the first pitch to Flores. The throw to second is in time. A beautiful throw by Levens, the catcher. Really, I don't think we've seen a more perfect throw all season, but worth the risk.
No, that put
right
it
on the money.
Right where he needed it to be and right on top of Mitch Jebb's hands. So Jebb now 7 swipe bags, 4 times he's been caught stealing. You get nobody on and a 2-out rally opportunity for Tito Flores.
Yeah, I'd say it's still a good situation to run in, though. And I mean, I'd probably send Jebb again on that. You know, 1 out in the inning, a 2-0 lead, worth trying to get in scoring position, but now Tito will look to restart the rally.
Well, now you're probably a little bit more careful sending guys going forth. That now that you understand, you know, the arm behind the plate, it's not easy to throw a guy like Mitch Jebb out, but, you know, Tatum Levens is an absolute cannon. So
you mentioned with Raiselman throwing mostly fastballs, too, it makes it tougher on base runners. Here's the 2-0 to Flores from Raiselman. 3-0. 7 straight balls from the right-hander.
That's something you see every day from a guy like Raiselman, who's really, really consistent with hitting the strike zone.
And he finds the zone. 3-1 the count.
I'm in 91 there. Takes a little velo off to find the strike zone at 3-0 and see what Tito Flores gets here, and already leads the team in home runs. Seen his power plenty of times before. Tito hit a home run.
Are you trying to will it into existence?
It's happened already once.
Here's a 3-1. Flores goes after a fastball at 90, fouled it off Levens. So the count will move to full.
We have seen so many times this year Harbor Hawk rallies start with 2 outs, and all it really takes is 1 swing of the bat to get these guys going. Tito was looking for the homer there on the 3-1. He put a lot into that swing. Hey, you ain't gonna see me complain.
Raiselman at 73 pitches, 43 strikes, 30 balls.
Here's a 3-2 to Tito. Ball 4, second straight walk issued by the right-hander from LSU.
Yeah, you can see that there's even more action in the bullpen for Harwich, and that will issue a pitching change.
So here comes Harwich's manager to the mound, and we'll see if he makes the motion down to the right field arm barn, which I believe will happen. We already had a mound visit this inning, so with 2 outs in the inning, Raiselman's day is very likely done. And indeed it is, as a right-hander will trot in from the arm barn, and we're going to take a break, and we'll tell you about the new pitcher when we return on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Coke Zero is now Coke Zero Sugar, with great Coke taste. Some people were excited to hear the news, some were skeptical. So we're not going to have the star of the show you're watching come out and say, "You'll love it." No special jingle written by this week's hottest pop star. No famous internet celebs who happen to be holding the label just so. Okay, maybe just one little pour shot. The only thing that will make you believe Coke Zero Sugar has great Coke taste is trying it yourself. Ice cold Coke Zero Sugar. Try one today.
If you live here, fun is your thing. If you live here, tough is your thing. Smart is your thing. Caring is your thing. If you live in Massachusetts, community is your thing. Since 1972, the Massachusetts State Lottery has provided over $25 billion to help cities and towns with the things they need most. If you live here, giving is your thing.
Back here for the remainder of the bottom of the fifth inning. Tito Flores over on first base with 2 outs after drawing a walk as the new pitcher finishes the warm-up tosses. The day is done for the Harwich starter, Eric Raiselman. He went 4 2/3, 5 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, and 1 punch-out on the line for the right-hander from LSU. We expected a lot of fastballs from him, Zach. We got just that. Wasn't his sharpest, but he battled back strong.
No, Raiselman had a pretty good day, all things considered, after the rough first inning, but now it's Drew Conover's turn to go the rest of the way. And we saw Drew Conover last time these two teams met out of Rutgers University. He's had a pretty good season thus far, as evident by the triple zeros right next to the ERA category. 4 appearances, not a single run given up in 6.1 innings of work, 6 strikeouts to 0 walks. I'd say that's pretty good.
Got quite the haircut, too. Not quite a mohawk. Kind of a faux hawk action there.
Conover, this is the first baseball team he's ever played for outside.
Ever. Whoa.
Hold on.
We got a baseball movie.
Wait.
Happy birthday, big guy. First ever baseball team.
First baseball team he has ever played for outside the state of New Jersey.
Outdoors. He's a typical indoor guy.
All right, we got a guy outside of New Jersey.
Never played baseball before.
Summer League in New Jersey. He did 2 years at Seton Hall and now a year with...
Did 2 years at Seton Hall? He served some time over there for the Pirates. I'm going to start using that, actually, Zach Berman. That was good, Zebo.
Served some time.
You guys served some time for Seton Hall. Thankfully, got out of there. Did he? Did he transfer?
Yes, he is now with Rutgers. Like I mentioned.
Scarlet Letters?
Scarlet Knights, not a...
How you doing? 95.
Boy, where did that come from?
Yeah.
That's some Jersey strength right there.
Is that what they call it?
Again, same deal with the weather. Phoenix strength, Milwaukee strength,
Duluth strength.
Line drive by Hyannis, a base hit to left center field. Flores is rounding second. He's going to head for third. Here comes the throw from left. It is in time to end the inning. Tito Flores tried to make it from first to third, but was out by a couple of feet. Hyannis is going to get credited with a base hit as the inning is over. The score, Hyannis 2, Harwich 0 on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Gannon's Tavern is the home of incredible wings, handcrafted cocktails, ice-cold beer, and Keno. Their innovative tavern menu features seafood, great sandwiches, steaks grilled to perfection, and stunning specialty dishes. There's no better place to watch your favorite New England pro football team than Gannon's Tavern, in their large bar or outside on their covered deck, complete with TV and sound. Gannon's Tavern, 959 Burses Way, Hyannis. Like them on Facebook and Instagram.
See you soon at Gannon's Tavern.
Welcome back as Jake Berry returns to the mound for another inning of work. We saw him come to the mound to relieve Alejandro Rosario. It was a scoreless frame fired by Berry in the fifth. No hits, runs, or walks. He did strike out a man. It's been a good night for Hyannis pitching. 5 innings, just 3 hits, 1 walk collectively with 6 strikeouts. And the Hawks have continued to pitch really well, even with the bullpen.
Yeah, and that's been consistent these last few games. Stands true again today. And your offense, if you want those guys to get hot, give them good pitching performances behind them as an incentive, and that's what the Harbor Hawks have been able to do.
I mean, the Hawks came into this game with a combined ERA of 3.04, and as a whole, it just seems like the pitching staff can be trusted regardless of time, space, rhyme, or reason to come in and get big outs when needed. And when you just have a stable full of guys that can do that, really makes your job as a coach and coaching staff so much easier.
Harwich will send up to the plate the meat of their order, 2-3-4, Seidel, Goodwin, Vetrano. Seidel and Goodwin are a combined 0 for 4 with 3 punch-outs tonight, but Vetrano is 2 for 2 with a single and a double, so we'll see how things develop in this inning for Jake Berry in his second inning of work. No action in the Hyannis bullpen. Jackson Emis is playing around with a weighted ball, getting loose maybe for not this inning, but could be later in the ball game that we see Emis.
Wes Burton is standing on the mound now at the rubber and is pitching to nothing.
As he does have a ball in his hand, but doesn't throw it. Called strike to Jake Berry, who does throw the baseball, and it finds the zone.
Wouldn't surprise me if we saw some combination of Emis, Burton, and Langenberg to finish tonight off should the score hold.
I don't know if the Hawks...
Yeah, I don't think they burn through that many arms.
I'd say one of Emis or Burton.
Here's the 0-1.
Oh, man.
80 miles an hour, slowed down, gets a fan and a miss.
He took so much off of that. Nothing to do there but just wave away.
Oh-2 to the leadoff man of the inning, Seidel, who's the 2-hitter in this lineup. Here comes the pitch from Jake Berry, fouled off, out of play. Good amount of souvenirs being handed out to the fans tonight in the form of foul balls.
A lot of teams go through 90 balls a game.
That is crazy.
That's a lot. I didn't know until about 3 days ago that the exterior of a baseball is made out of raw cowhide. Did you know that?
Yeah, I've heard that.
That thing used to be a cow.
It did.
Yeah, that's nuts to me.
Wait till you hear what a football used to be.
Stop that. Don't go there. Oh, no way.
You know what a hockey puck used to be?
Rubber, tire.
Galvanized rubber.
Zamboni.
I was say a car tire. A 1-2, never mind. Just 1-2 to Tommy Seidel. Here comes the pitch. Smacks it down the right field line, drifting out of play, and it will indeed land foul, so we'll have to do it again on 1 and 2.
How about soccer balls, you think?
That's a good question. You know the Michelin Man?
Never met him.
Oh, you seen him?
Around.
Oh boy.
Heard it was that material.
Well, I just looked up what
And we're
soccer
not gonna
balls are
share.
made out of, and I'm not gonna go any
That's
further.
not true. There's just zero way that's true. Folks, look that up on your own.
For now, we're focused on the baseball.
Are we?
Oh, man.
Jake Berry is, that's for certain.
Yes, it is. We should be like Jake Berry.
But not that Jake Berry.
No, this one.
This one on the mound, who's already thrown a scoreless frame and is ahead on Seidel 1 and 2. Here's the 1-2. Popped up. Christian Moore and Justin Hyannis range back. It'll be Hyannis, the first baseman, who makes the catch for out number 1.
That gives us a time to look at the standings across the Cape League now and see where the Harbor Hawks rank amongst the other teams in the West Division. Hyannis right behind Katuitt, 9 points back of the Kettleers, who have been on such a hot streak. Hyannis is actually 8-5-3 now, if I am correct. So maybe I sense the wrong standings. Is that right? I think that's right. It is right. They are 8-5-3. Hyannis is 6-2-2 through the last 10. We'll update those though over the course of the night and keep an eye on the Katuitt game.
8-5-3 for the Hawks.
Hawks are hot. What else can you say?
Oh well, a lot. Pending.
I believe, should the score hold tonight, the Harbor Hawks could potentially pass last year's team in the win counter.
They will do that.
Thanks for reminding me.
Austin Dakuda? Yeah. What are you thinking right now? You guys couldn't have got there to 8 wins that fast took the whole season last year.
It took us just about 36 games or so to get to win number 8 last year, and this year it's been already much quicker as that one's hit well down the right field line. Matulia is on his horse. He makes the catch in time for out number 2. And Phil Matulia has great range as a corner outfielder.
I think this whole outfield's got pretty good range, but, you know, both the Louisiana Tech guys have just been borderline flawless out there in the field to start this year.
And here comes Joe Vetrano with 2 away in the inning, and he's 2 for 2 tonight, a single and a double, left-stranded both times as the Mariners still search for their first run.
Joe, no relation to DiMaggio, despite the many questions he gets.
Right. There's a called strike, 0-1.
Thank you for that one. An 89-mile-an-hour fastball from Jake Berry. Vetrano out of Boston College. Slight pull hitter. Not a steal or bunt threat.
Here's the 0-1, and there's the breaking ball by Berry, 0-2. That one was quite slower than the fastball, and that's why you saw Vetrano so far out in front of it.
Not getting a reading on that from the gun, I would just say quite slower is what I'd mark it as.
Harbor Hawks have only walked 1 Harwich batter tonight. Again, they are the last team in the league in issuing walks, garnering walks.
Ground ball back up the middle. Vetrano is now 3 for 3. Quite the day for him. He has 3 of the 4 Harwich hits tonight.
He's just seeing the ball really well, and he did that a lot at BC. And even down 0-2 in a count, gets something he likes and just chops it right back up the middle. Doesn't try and, you know, do too much with it or hit it out of the park. But a good piece of hitting.
2 out in the inning, and Vetrano on first, which brings up Kenny Lavari, the third baseman, who is 0 for 2 with a pair of flyouts, both to left field. First pitch to Lavari by Berry is spiked for a ball.
Lavari this spring, 278 average at Old Dominion. Solid baseball program. Actually hosted a regional, one of the top 16 teams in college baseball this past year. Lavari is one of their leaders.
That one's hit well to right field. Matulia is drifting back and will make the play before the warning track to end the inning. Jake Berry, 2 scoreless innings on the day for the left-hander from Virginia. Hyannis still leads it 2-0 on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Traffic is treacherous. There's a fender bender on the pike. Gonna be a wicked commute. The expressway's backed up to the gas tanks. Gridlock. Crawl. Snarl. Jam up. Bottleneck. Log jam. 128 is a parking lot. You'll be late for supper tonight.
Keeping your car road ready is what we do best. At Sullivan Tire, we're always here to get you there.
Hey, we get you there too.
Having a 5G phone that's not on T-Mobile makes as much sense as playing ice hockey. Using pool noodles. Get out of the penalty box with 5G coverage like this. T-Mobile has more 5G bars in more places than anyone. T-Mobile, more 5G bars in more places. Another reason T-Mobile is the leader in 5G.
Welcome back for the bottom of the 6th inning on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Austin Dakuda, Zach Berman, and Drake Toll, the trio in the booth. As always, fellas, as the Hawks hold the 2-0 lead, that same score that we saw after the first inning.
And you got Conover trotting back out there for Harwich, who has kind of a funky style throwing the pill. You watch him, see right here, the way that he sets, comes up, high leg kick, points the toe down, and comes almost from a sidearm slot to throw.
Yes, sidearm slot.
And before we begin action here in the bottom of the 6th, a quick word from our sponsor, T-Mobile, who is proud to sponsor the Cape Cod Baseball League. T-Mobile is committed to serve those who serve, and that's why they go above and beyond for our active duty military and veterans. Visit your neighborhood T-Mobile store or T-Mobile.com to learn more. Shaniel due up to lead off the inning. It's Shaniel, McConnell, Moore. 4-5-6 for the Hawks. Shaniel's 0 for 1 tonight, but did reach base safely with a walk in the bottom of the first inning. Conover comes set, and the first pitch to Shaniel is popped up. Going to drift into shallow left field. Coming in is Kavanaugh. He puts the glove up, makes the catch, 1 out.
Now, Drew Conover out of Rutgers. Rutgers, of course, part of the Big Ten, and that conference just got pretty seismic news 10 or so minutes ago. USC and UCLA have both joined the Big Ten, and they have made it official. And as of 2024, they will officially begin playing in the conference. And that's a pretty big deal because now you have UCLA baseball, which is a powerhouse, one that the Big Ten doesn't necessarily have in that sport.
Here's Cole McConnell from Louisiana Tech baseball as he watches a called strike. 95. Drew Conover's got the good stuff working today with the fastball.
He's only given up 3 hits, or excuse me, now 4 with the Hyannis single last inning all season. He has been borderline unhittable for Harwich to start this campaign.
1-1 the count now to Cole McConnell, who is 1 for 2 with a single and a run batted in tonight.
It's more of the same for Cole.
1-1 with 1 away here from Hyannis. Here's the pitch from Conover. That one is cut on and missed.
Are my eyes fooling me, or is that Riku Nishida warming in the bullpen?
Yes, Riku Nishida is throwing a baseball in the bullpen. Maybe he is getting loose to play the field. I know he's not going to pitch at any point.
You don't know that. You cannot guarantee that to me.
I can guarantee you that he will not pitch in tonight's ball game.
Pitching to the bullpen catcher.
97 on that
Oh
fastball.
my.
Hello, Drew Conover.
So we were told that the radar gun could be
don't say it.
about 3 miles per hour less than what we're seeing on the scoreboard. So
less. We were told less.
Were we?
Less.
I was told plus or minus 3.
So okay.
Which gives us.
So down goes McConnell on strikes. The throw to first to clean it up by 11. So plus or minus. So it could either be 94, 97, or 100 on that last fastball.
This dude just went from 97 to 82.
Okay.
Well, they said 3 to 5, plus or minus 3 to 5.
Okay, so we have.
So that 97 could have been 92, or it could have been 102. So we have little to no idea.
Okay, well, that point's just
not as big a
invalidated.
difference as Chatham, but it's close.
Actually, probably a little bit worse, sadly.
Well, you didn't hear that from me. You heard it from Drake Toll, the one and only.
Huh.
Actually, 2. The other one lives in Kansas, Wichita area.
You ever meet him?
No chance. The world would cave in. He did theater in high school.
As did you, and here's a guy.
No.
Christian Moore at the plate.
I don't think Christian Moore did theater in high school either.
No, I wasn't going to say that, but here's a guy who's familiar with theatrics as the Tennessee Volunteers provided many of those this season, late in games.
It's a stretch, but I'll accept it.
He's 1 for 1 on the day. Also has a sac fly RBI. Breaking ball called strike. Christian Moore has brought a new energy to this team, Zach, since joining the Harbor Hawks.
Yeah, and we saw it up in the booth, and we've seen it now at the plate. He plays with an air of confidence that is so rare among college baseball players. He's got swag to him. That's really just such a big part of his brand, and it really emulates into how he plays a game.
Here's the pitch from Conover, the 0-2 in the dirt and blocked by the catcher 11. So count will move to 1-2, 84 on that pitch. And as we mentioned, no action in the Hyannis arm barn, so that could mean Jake Berry is due for his 3rd inning of work, but we'll see how that plays out.
They have shut down Riku Nishida officially.
Well, it's 1-2 with 2 outs. I mean, that could mean. Here comes the pitch to Christian Moore. He hesitantly swings through a pitch to end the inning. Conover's looked good for the Mariners as he ends the inning and retires the side in order. The score still holds the same as it did in the bottom of the first. 2 runs, 6 hits now, no errors for either team. No runs, 4 hits for the Harwich Mariners as we head to the 7th on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Bronk.
What up, TB?
What do you think my next move should be? Give it to me straight. Maybe it's just time I hang him up.
I got one word for you. Retirement. If you retire now, you're gonna be walking on soft sand in a week. Just come to Florida and feel the wind in your hair. Retirement is like winning another one. Maybe I'll even join you.
On the Spotty Network, this is what Tom heard.
If you retire now, you're soft and weak. Just come to Florida and win another one. Maybe I'll even join you.
Just go win another one.
Like it's that easy, Gronk. Maybe it is. I still feel like I have a lot to accomplish.
My goal is to win one more.
And Gronk's coming with me.
I'm retired from retiring? Mom, where are my football pants?
Don't trust big decisions to just any network. Go with T-Mobile, the GOAT in 5G.
And I'm not soft or weak either.
T-Mobile is the leader in 5G.
Back for the 7th inning as Jake Berry returns to the mound for his 3rd inning of work.
You know what happens in the 7th inning?
You stretch.
What else?
What's in the box?
Yeah, bottom of the 7th inning, what's in the box?
Brought to you by Honeydew Coffee.
Yeah, Honeydew Coffee and Donuts, some of the best out there. And Jake Berry back out there, the lefty. Big smile on his face, tossing over to Pancho Ruiz. Berry's been impressive so far.
Yeah, Riku is still warming in the bullpen. Hey, we said Riku would never hit a walk-off
he's
home
at
run,
second
but we
base.
also
That's why I told you when he was warming
never
in the
said
bullpen.
he wouldn't enter the game.
That's what I figured when we saw him warming the bullpen would be coming into the field the next inning.
And take a look, too, at the standings updated across the league. Here, the Harbor Hawks, there you see them at number 2 in the West behind Katuitt with a 2-game lead on top of the Bourne Braves, who are 6, 7, and 3. Wareham is now 6 games behind Hyannis in that 2 spot and a total of 13 points behind Katuitt. The Falmouth Commodores at 5, 10, and 1 dropped 8 points, 4 games behind Hyannis after the game last night. And then YD on a tear, 7, 2, and 1 in the last 10. They're the hottest team on the Cape. They lost last night, by the way.
Well, who can put an end to the heat? That would be the Harbor Hawks that play them twice this weekend.
Yeah, let's hope so. And Katuitt. If it doesn't rain, per Zach Berman, it's going to rain.
Well, we'll hold you to it. Jake Berry will have to deal with Chris Newell, Tatum Levins, and Will Hammeter for this top of the 7th inning. First pitch at 81 will not find the zone. Here's the windup and the 1-0. Hit on the ground to second, and Riku Nishida going to be tested early as he flips over to first in time. No problem for Nishida.
Well, the arm looks fine.
That's good.
Yeah, you got a good warm out there.
I haven't seen that very often.
Take another look at the ground out. Nice and routine for Riku. As you see, he likes to flip it underhand to first oftentimes. Does that once again.
He always tends to charge the ball really hard when he's playing out at second base, and I really like how aggressively he plays that position, because sometimes you don't see guys play that aggressively. They'll sit back and wait for the ball to come to them. Not Riku's case.
Lefty once again as the first pitch is popped up foul by Tatum Levins. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Put the ball in play. Both times to the right side. It was a ground out to first and a ground out to second for the catcher. Here's the windup by Berry in the 0-1. Gonna miss high, 82. It's that off-speed pitch he likes to throw quite often.
Is that you?
No.
No.
I don't have a
Thought
mohawk.
I smelled something.
I don't have a mohawk. I can't grow it out.
What?
Referring to the drawing of the guy right in front of us that has
someone
looks to
doodled
be a
all
mohawk.
over our press box desk.
Yeah, Drake points me and goes, "Is that you?" I'm like, no. Good illustration, though. You know, put it. Is there an art museum in the Cape?
Austin?
No idea. 3-1 the count. Here's the windup in the pitch by Jake Berry. Popped foul once again. Count runs full.
I'd like to see Berry continue to attack the zone. Has yet to give up a walk today. This is the best that we've seen Berry so far this season. He's only allowed 1 base runner through 2 1/3.
There is action in the Harbor Hawk bullpen. Was Brandon Neek throwing as that one is cut on and missed. Beautiful breaking ball by Jake Berry for out number 2.
It almost feels like every day the Harbor Hawks have a new bullpen guy come in that just sets the world on fire. And we said we wanted 3 innings out of Jake Berry, and he's 1 out away from getting just that. He's already hit a season high in terms of how many outs he's gotten. But
Jay Driver down there passing around the 50-50 bucket. Same guy that closed out the game yesterday for the Harbor Hawks.
Third straight lefty in the lineup for the Harwich Mariners as Will Hammeter watches a called strike. 0-1. As we mentioned, it was Brandon Neek warming, but he is now sat down as Ty Langenberg picks up the baseball and begins to throw in the left field arm barn. Here comes the 0-1 from Berry. In the dirt, blocked by Poncho. Count evens up. Wind up and the 1-1 from Berry on its way. A fastball foul down the left field line. And it's a souvenir for whoever wants to go grab it.
Let's see if he goes back to that breaking ball again.
Likes to throw it with 2 strikes, that's for sure.
Seems to be what's working best for Berry right now as well. I mean, his stuff is on.
Here comes the 1-2 from the Virginia left-hander. That one is cut on and missed. Jake Berry has been dominant tonight out of the bullpen as he retires 4 in a row, finishes 3 clean innings, and the inning is over. The Harbor Hawks still hold the 2-0 lead. It's time to stretch here in Hyannis on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
My family earns respect.
My family clears bases.
My family breaks records.
My family wins MVPs.
My family gives everything.
My family makes history.
My family wins championships.
There's no family.
There's no family. There's no family.
There's no family like my family. Join the fam.
Join the fam.
Join the fam.
Welcome back inside the Tim Elstrom Broadcast Center here at McKeon Park, and it's the bottom of the 7th inning, and that means it's time for What's in the Box. Drake Toll, take it away.
Hey, folks, look at Frisbee Jam. You ever played Frisbee Jam? Well, I haven't, and no one's played this in about 4 years. It's got dust all over it. If you've never seen What's in the Box, the Hyannis Harbor Hawk press box up here acts as kind of a bit of a storage closet, for lack of a better term, and today, I went on the hunt for what is in the box, brought to you by Honeydew Coffee and Donuts, and whammo! It's a Frisbee disc Frisbee Slam. 2 Frisbees, 2 scoring bins, and 4 anchors. No, not those anchors, these anchors. It's $12.99. It's been used so little that no one even took the tag off of this guy. But I can tell you this, no idea how it works, but I bet it's a blast and a half.
You've never played Frisbee Slam?
You have?
You have?
Yeah,
I've played Can Jam.
Can Jam's great.
Yeah, I think this
Can
is
Jam, a competitor to our own Frisbee Slam.
I think this is just generic Can Jam.
Oh, well, don't hold back your
Generic Can
opinion
Jam.
on Frisbee Slam. So, brought to you by Honeydew Coffee. Frisbee Slam is what's in the box today here at McKeon Park.
Huzzah! Frisbee Slam. Thanks, guys, for entertaining the idea of what's in the box.
So we take it back to the field for the bottom of the 7th inning. Pancho Ruiz, Dom Patelli, Philip Matulia, bottom of the order due up. 7, 8, 9 for the Hawks as they look to add some insurance as we get towards the later innings of this one. Drew Conover remains on the bump for the Harwich Mariners. He's been lights out in these 1 1/3 innings pitch that he has hurled so far. 1 hit, no runs, walks, and he struck out 2. Pancho on the day is 0 for 2 at a line out and a ground out. He did reach on that fielder's choice back in the 4th inning. Here's the 1-0 from Conover to Pancho. It's going to miss low, and now the San Diego State catcher is ahead 2-0 in the count.
Late inning insurance has been a big strategy for how the Harbor Hawks are where they are record-wise. Would love to see them string a couple hits here together and give themselves just a little bit more breathing room for whoever comes in to shut the door.
Ooh.
That one's going to hit Pancho on the hand, and he will take first base. Ruiz seems to be okay. So the leadoff man's aboard for the Hawks, and not the way you want to get on. It's a little more painful than you'd hope, but Ruiz is going to trot down to first, and he'll be okay. And action has also stopped in the Harbor Hawks arm barn, so you got to wonder if Jake Berry's coming back out for the 8th inning.
I mean, he's been beyond efficient, so you'd have to think they're at least thinking about it as Drake's waving to someone. I can't tell who he's waving to.
Thanks, Zach, for the color analysis, telling people my secrets.
Dom Patelli now at the plate as he watches a fastball at 94 miss low. Patelli on the night is 0 for 2, has put the ball in play both times. As you see, the outfield's shifted a bit to Patelli, but not how you'd expect to shift on a left-handed hitter. The center fielder's in left center, and the left fielder's down the line. So leaving him right center field if he wants it. Patelli couldn't catch up to the fastball 1-1. I guess that's partly due to the man on the mound hurling 94-95.
Well, I've got good news for us and bad news for Drew Conover, and that's that Conover has control issues. He issued 25 walks in 31 innings of play, 33 innings of play this past spring, compared to those 43 strikeouts that he tossed for Rutgers. So you see the ball get away from him every now and then. He also hit 11 batters. So in total, 36 free passes in 33 innings.
No signs of the control struggles just yet as the 1-2 misses. It hits the catcher, and Poncho will not be going anywhere at first, but the count will move to 2-2.
No, and that was in reference to Poncho getting hit on the 2-0 pitch, and surprised we didn't see Poncho steal right there.
That was the first hit batter we've seen from Conover on the Cape all summer. He still hasn't walked a guy coming into this bottom of the 7th inning. So the control issues that we saw at Rutgers, not the case so far.
He did just hit Poncho Ruiz, though.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. You are right. The 2-2 misses, now 3-2.
That's where I was trying to go with that. Sorry, you guys.
Once again, what a job by Patelli. He's walked 4 times in his last 3 games, and I keep saying it, that's not a pitch he lays off on early in the season.
Well, funny enough, it's still early in the season, believe it or not. His runner started to go. Patelli goes down.
That was the old broadcaster jinx right there.
On strikes as he chases a pitch below the knees. Jock that one up to Zach Berman.
Yeah, I'll take that one on the chin.
Here comes Philip Matulia, 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout on the day. Matulia has continued to climb the batting average ranks for the Hawks, even though the bat hasn't resulted in many hits. You know you're going to get plus defense, and you know you're going to get a guy who sees a lot of pitches and starting to pick up the pace at the plate. 1 away, Ruiz on first, gets his very small lead, and Matulia goes after the fastball, 0-1. Poncho over at first is not going to give you a ton of speed on the bases, but something you're willing to sacrifice because of the good bat and the solid defense at the catcher spot. Here's the 0-1 from Conover. Called strike, 0-2 ahead of Matulia now, relatively quickly.
You can find a way to build some traffic on the bases, get Matulia on here, and have Mitch Jebb coming up next. Harbor Hawks have been deadly in the 7th and 8th innings this season.
Here's the 0-2 to Matulia, and he goes after a fastball at 96 for out number 2.
Train tracks are pretty close. You hear the
boat.
Sounds of the ballpark.
There's the boat.
Well, the train tracks are right there, too.
Train tracks are right there, but that sounded like a nice big, maybe it was a ferry? Yeah, that's a ferry. Definitely. So I'm not so sure about that.
Okay.
Definitely.
So, nope,
maybe.
That's a ferry. Not so sure. Definitely. Now we're not so sure.
I'm with you, Zach Berman. I think it might be a train.
That one hits off the glove of Levins, and there goes Poncho. Look at the speed of Poncho Ruiz to move up.
Second. He swiped 2 of them now.
Those do not count as stolen bases, unfortunately.
They do right here. They do right for Poncho Ruiz.
Have him. That last pass ball, wild pitch, however you prefer it, will prompt a mound visit from Levins to connect with his pitcher once more.
There's some traffic on the water today, and or tracks.
Mitch Jebb has also had some traffic on the base pass. He's 1 for 2, also a walk.
All right.
The 1-0 to Jebb misses outside as count moves to 2-0. It's always interesting to see the different batting stances that the guys come into. Mitch Jebb more relaxed at the plate than some other hitters. The bat always will rest on his shoulder. He starts with it straight up.
100%.
Drops it down to his shoulder and then picks it back up as the pitch is on its way.
Kind of a slouch.
So there it goes. Just leans on that shoulder and now will stand it back up for the 2-0. Hits it back up the middle. Goodwin moves to his left. The throw on the run by the shortstop is in time. He gets Jebb by just a step to end the inning, as we're through 7 complete here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
What are you looking forward to?
Adding a takeout window.
And more locations.
Paying off my student loans.
Juggling my 4 small businesses and staying sane.
Raising my allowance.
Finishing my painting and starting the next one.
Catching a keeper. Cashing anything.
Making the most of my retirement.
Checking my balance and hopefully having one.
Whatever you want for your family, your business, or your community, talk to us at Cape Cod 5 because we're looking forward to helping you.
This is your time to change your career, to advance your skills, to follow your dream. Curry College continuing in graduate studies. Tomorrow is coming. Be ready.
Coke Zero is now Coke Zero Sugar, with great Coke taste. Some people were excited to hear the news, some were skeptical. So we're not going to have the star of the show you're watching come out and say, "You'll love it." No special jingle written by this week's hottest pop star. No famous internet celebs who happen to be holding the label just so. Okay, maybe just one little pour shot. The only thing that will make you believe Coke Zero Sugar has great Coke taste is trying it yourself. Ice cold Coke Zero Sugar. Try one today.
Jake Berry returns to the mound for another inning of work as we welcome you back to the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network, Judy Walden Scarefile Field, as Jake Berry through 3 innings, just 1 hit, no runs or walks. He's punched out 3.
So far, one of the more impressive relief performances we've seen from the Hawks this year. And, you know, more of the same. You know, you have a starter go 4, and then you have a guy come in and might possibly match him if he can get through this inning, but easier said than done when you've already thrown 3. But like you've mentioned, he started his fair share of games down in Virginia. He's more than capable of you know, going these last 3 outs and setting up what I would assume to be a Ty Langenberg save situation.
We'll have to deal with David Smith to start it off, and he does so by firing in a strike. Just to go through the defense once again for the Hawks, there hasn't been any changes since the last inning. It's Mitch Jebb at third, Dom Patelli at short, Riku Nishida at second, Justin Hyannis at first as that one's fouled off. Tito Flores in left, McConnell in center, and Matulia remains in right. If you're just joining us, it's been 2-0 since the bottom of the first inning. Great pitching matchup by both these teams.
Well, Berry's now up to 43 pitches, 30 strikes to 13 balls.
An efficient night from the 6'10 left-hander. He's ahead 0-2. The pitch in the dirt is going to miss for a ball at 82 miles an hour.
But you might have to add that Jacob Berry breaking ball to that list of, you know, the most disgusting pitches you'll see a Harbor Hawk throw all season.
Yeah, it doesn't have as much break. It's just so slow, and it just kind of slowly tails off the edge of the plate. Here's the 1-2 from Berry. There's a fastball that misses low, 2-2.
I mean, if Ty Good is gone, his 12-6 is certainly up there. You have Brody McCullough's fastball. You have Ty Langenberg's changeup.
David Smith chops that one down the third baseline. Foul.
Smith has struggled to get into a rhythm this season. 1 for 15 coming in today, and his batting average right now for the Mariners is .063. Not quite like that in the spring for UConn, though. One of the better teams in the Big East. Against lefties, he hit .309, 385 OBP.
Solid numbers from Smith. He's got a 2-2 count now to him as Berry leans in to get the sign from Poncho and winds up. Here's the 2-2 breaking ball, hammered foul, out of play.
Well, Smith was sitting on that breaking ball right there, and just a little bit early. But now that you're sitting breaking ball, do you go back to the fastball here if you're Berry?
It'll be interesting to see what Poncho calls. Here's the windup and the pitch. Fastball, it's a soft liner towards the middle of the infield, and Riku Nishida is there to make the catch. The range from the Mountain Hood Community College, now future Oregon Duck second baseman, is spectacular.
That's 5'6" coming at you. You can't jump up and make that play at 5'6", but if you have the speed to get deep enough in the infield fast enough, that is how you charge it out. That's how Riku Nishida did it right there.
When you're as fast as Riku, you make that play a lot easier than it looks. That's for certain.
Back to the top of the order for Press Kavanaugh as he shows bunt but pulls it back and watches the ball. Kavanaugh's 0 for 3, a pair of punch-outs and a ground out on the line. He is one of the most talented hitters on this team. He's only, coming into the night, only had 11 at-bats on the year. He's a relatively recent addition to the roster as he skies that one to left field. Tito Flores camps under it and makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down as Jake Barry continues to work through this Harwich lineup without any trouble.
Yeah, there's one arm there kind of toying around in the Hyannis bullpen, but nothing too serious. And wow, as good as Barry has been, and talking about the stretch already that Hyannis has to go on, Barry's about to charge his 4th inning, which Rosario did to start tonight. Maybe you go to Ty Langenberg to finish things off, but the way Barry's been right now, you don't have to.
It could be a situation where if Barry starts the 9th and allows a base runner, then Langenberg comes in, but we'll see what they go with as first pitch is a ball to Tommy Seidel.
You got to remember, you also can't rule out the fact that the Hawks have scored 10 runs combined in their last 2 8th innings. It is the 8th inning, so there's a chance whoever enters the game for the Hawks at the top of the 9th could be looking at a very different scoreboard.
I believe they scored 5 runs
in Bourne,
and then 1 run last night.
Yes.
Oh, excuse me. Yes, it was the 7th yesterday.
Yeah, it was the top of the 9th.
Top of the 9th, my bad.
They had 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 8th, and 3 in the 9th.
3 in the 9th.
But 5 in the 8th. In the game against Bourne earlier in the week, the 2-0 is skied to center field. McConnell's running in. Nishida and Patelli move out, and it's Patelli, the shortstop, to make the catch. How about Jake Barry?
Hats off.
4 innings of 1 hit ball, no runs or walks, and 3 punch-outs by the Virginia left-hander, and what a job. He's going to get a handshake from Eric Beatty, B.J. Johnson, and the entire coaching staff as he makes his way to the dugout. And we head to the bottom of the 8th on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
If you live here, fun is your thing. If you live here, tough is your thing. Smart is your thing. Caring is your thing. If you live in Massachusetts, community is your thing. Since 1972, the Massachusetts State Lottery has provided over $25 billion to help cities and towns with the things they need most. If you live here, giving is your thing.
From plants, and as always, it's 100% recyclable. Plant Bottle, designed to make a difference.
Welcome back for the bottom of the 8th inning. Austin Nakuda, Zach Berman, and Drake Toll as we welcome you inside McKeon Park. And the Harbor Hawks still hold a 2-0 lead over the Harwich Mariners as new pitcher on the mound for the Mariners.
Yep, and that would be Zach Berman.
That would be number 29, Teddy Sharkey.
That would be number 29, Teddy Sharkey, the right-handed pitcher from Coastal Carolina. He's a junior from Brielle, New Jersey.
Brielle, New Jersey, right down the road from where I grew up.
There we go.
Harbor Hawks have had pretty good success against pitchers named Teddy. See if that trend sticks here. That's an early candidate. Mid-season. It's mid-season now. It's a mid-season candidate for all-name team.
Teddy, a kid with the last name Sharkey that grows up on the Jersey Shore. Come on,
Teddy Sharkey.
Look,
it's mid-season now.
On Cape Cod.
Think
Teddy
about
Sharkey,
it.
Coastal Carolina, Chanticleer.
This is the 16th game of the year, if I'm calculating correctly. 17th game of the year.
Okay.
8-5-3 Harbor Hawks.
Sharkey.
So you're getting close to the middle part of your
Yes,
season.
Middle part of your
That's true.
season.
So you're really in the grind now, and that's why
Yeah.
with this being game 2 of 7 straight days of baseball.
Can't really say it's early anymore.
Right.
It's tough to say these guys aren't adjusting now.
It's early for some because some have only played 5 to 10 games.
Sharkey's only been here for 1 game.
Yeah,
This is his second appearance.
But even your Dom Patellis and Mitch Jabs are getting close to 10 games on Cape.
So those two guys are now experienced. I kind of want to call them veterans
Veterans
at this point.
yeah. They've been to the grinder.
They've seen a ton of action, as has the man stepping to the plate, Tito Flores, as he'll greet Sharkey. Flores 1 for 2 with a single, a walk, and a run scored.
How tall is Sharkey?
5'11". Right-hander, 5'11". Actually, okay, so
6 feet, don't cheat him. Ground ball between short and third. It's going to be Goodwin on the run, makes the throw. And out number 1, Flores goes down.
I'm not cheating him. On the Coastal Carolina website, they have him as 5'11". On Baseball Reference, they have him as 6 foot.
Oh.
Yeah, right here. See? 5'11".
Controversy. Controversy.
Who's that?
I don't know. I mean,
Tommy Sharkey.
He's either 5'11" or 6 feet.
Oh, that was someone's name. Exotic, but.
Sure. Justin Hyannis now at the plate.
Went to high school with a Contro.
I just called him Tommy Sharkey. Teddy Sharkey.
Ah.
Yeah. You also called him 5'11".
He is 5'11".
What's your vendetta with this guy?
He is 6 feet, according to Baseball Reference.
According to his team, he's 5'11".
Well, those lie in himself. He's probably 5'9". We have Wes Burton listed at 6'8". He's actually 6'3".
Ooh, that's a tough one. Here's the 0-1 to Hyannis. He fouls it back. Got some final scores going across the bottom of your screen. Orleans at Brewster has gone final with the Firebirds picking up the win. See YD leading Chatham. Bourne and Falmouth are scoreless. Thank you to our producers for getting these scores around the Cape up for you at home.
Well, Chatham's had a tough go at it recently.
They have, and plenty of talent on that roster. Unfortunately, the Bats haven't put it together. The 0-2 to Hyannis misses outside.
For some reason, Point Streak hasn't updated it, but Katuitt has walked off Wareham. 6-5 is the final.
Chatham has one of the best ERAs and fielding percentages on the Cape. Just proof that defense doesn't matter here.
Apparently not. That's quite the analysis.
No pushback. Thanks, Austin.
Here's the 1-2 to Hyannis. He pops it foul, drifting towards the Harbor Hawk dugout, and it will go out of play. Matulia escorts Bavari over towards fair territory.
That's good.
It was a walk-off homer for Tommy Troy in his Cape League debut.
Walk-off homer in his Cape League debut.
Yes.
Oh, jeez. You know what they call him?
His 2022 Cape League debut. He played
Tommy
here
Tanks.
last summer.
Yes.
Tommy Tanks.
The 1-2. That one is lined to left field by Hyannis, but it's going to hang up long enough for Kavanaugh to make the catch for out number 2. Could be last at bats by the Hawks here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Hopefully it is.
That would be nice. Shaniel's up to bat now. He's 0 for 2 with a walk on the day.
The Harbor Hawks have not shut out a team since Monday, June 13th. I was 19 years old.
That seems factually incorrect.
True, but it feels like it by now. June 13th feels like an eon ago. That's the only shutout of the season for Hyannis.
First pitch to Shaniel, called strike, going 192.
Who pitched in that game? That was Ty Good. Wes Burton was in there.
Was he?
Yes, he was.
I don't know. It's the second game of the season?
Yes, he was.
Wow. Look at the memory on this guy's got Lincoln Riley, Big Ten coach.
Yes, now indeed a Big Ten coach.
Wish we would have mentioned that.
0-2 to Nolan Shaniel.
Quite a wave. I don't know, Austin, if you saw it. A lot of waves in the Big Ten and the Pac-12 and a bunch of teams that are moving back and forth. And Kansas is going to the Big East. And
allegedly.
Baylor's going to the SEC.
I would actually like that.
Missouri, Mountain West.
Yes, that is confirmed.
Yep.
Maybe Dean College will make the jump one of these days.
I think they're
Hartford.
capable.
Yeah, replace Hartford.
Yeah. Who knows? Here's the 0-2 to Shaniel.
Who does know?
Not me. That's a well-hit ball by Shaniel. Got some carry to it, ranging back and making the grab on the warning track is Seidel to end the inning. We're going to go to the 9th inning of work, and it'll be Ty Langenberg making the jog from the arm barn as he hopes to close it out here at McKean Park. 2-0 the score on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
When it comes to buying or selling a home, you need a partner, not just an agent. For over 50 years, Gibson Sotheby's International Realty has set the standard in excellence and performance. A seasoned team that has thrived throughout all markets. Our agents live and work in your neighborhood and understand you. We are over 170 agents strong, backed by an in-house marketing team and global reach that is second to none.
From studios to penthouses, purchasing to renting, our team provides unparalleled real estate services.
This is your time to change your career, to advance your skills, to follow your dream. Curry College continuing in graduate studies. Tomorrow is coming. Be ready.
I'm defeated, feel mistreated. I'm so angry, I'm singing a song. 'Cause I'm paying so much for home internet, and that's just wrong.
I've got T-Mobile home internet. I feel happy.
Great.
Very happy.
Good for you.
Look how much money I'm saving right now.
Wait, really?
There's no hidden fees, no price hikes, one cord.
Bro, wow.
Internet without BS.
Welcome back for the 9th inning on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network as Ty Langenberg takes the bump, and he has been nothing short of dominant here on Cape Cod. 3 separate appearances, and that's a total of 6 2/3 innings pitched, 14 strikeouts. Let me say that again. 14 strikeouts and 6 2/3 with just 1 walk and 3 hits. He's got 2 saves, looking for number 3 tonight, and you're going to see a future pro take the bump in just a second.
Some might say he's been with the kids called nails nowadays.
Is that what the kid? How many kids do you know that have said that? What?
He'll have to deal with the 3, 4, 5 of the Harwich lineup: Goodwin, Vetrano, and Lavari. But
so if Hammerberg's the hammer,
Langenberg's the nail.
Sweet.
Sweet. Cool.
Well, glad we squared that away. Ty Langenberg is not Brandon Llewellyn, by the way.
No, he is not. And he is on the mound now to face Nick Goodwin, who's 0 for 3. Here's the first pitch by Langenberg. Here you go. Here's a fastball 0-1.
Langenberg second on the Harbor Hawk team with 14 strikeouts. Guess who's first? Brody McCullough with 15. I didn't even let you guess.
Yeah, I would have guessed Brody.
Guess who's first? You can't.
Thanks, Drake. 0-1 here to Goodwin. Misses low. There's the changeup to 87. So 1-1 the count. I talked with Ty before yesterday's game about that changeup that he throws 70% of the time.
Yeah.
He doesn't hold it like a circle change. He kind of palms it a bit. And I asked him, is that a pitch you've been throwing your whole life? As the 1-1's away, it's going to miss for a ball. He said, no. I've been throwing it. I've known how to throw it. But during the 2022 spring, I didn't throw it that much at Iowa, he said, because his pitching coach never called it. He gets down here. He has some freedom, so he said he's been throwing it a lot more. And at 87 to 89 on it, it acts kind of like a sinker. The 1-2 is cut on and missed. Down goes Goodwin for out number 1.
Langenberg with 15 strikeouts is now tied for 9th in the league in strikeouts. He's got, again, 15. Can you guess how many teams he has more strikeouts than?
I'm going to go 2.
Okay.
0.
Yeah, it's out. It's 0. Every
Gotcha,
team on the
Drake.
Cape has more than
Take
15
that.
strikeouts.
Not going to get me on that.
No.
Over 15 games
Felt
in.
like a trick question.
Yeah, it was. I tend to get you guys every now and then.
Not me tonight.
Not me.
Well, you know what they say about Ty Langenberg's changeup?
He did get you. What do you mean not me?
It changes things up.
Yeah.
There you go. 1-0 to Joe Vetrano, who has been the toughest out in the Harwich lineup. He's 3 for 4, and get this, he has 3 out of the 4 Harwich hits. Their offensive production all lies on the BC first baseman's bat tonight. 1-1 the count. There's that changeup.
Well, this poor Harwich team looks almost nothing like it did when Hyannis saw them at Harwich.
Well, you remember, even in the game the Harbor Hawks lost, Harwich didn't muster any offense until the last inning as that one's hit on the ground to Riku Nishida. Routinely flips on to first, and Hyannis is 1 out away from defeating the Mariners.
Jeez, man.
Then, to piggyback off that, Harwich only had 1 hit in Game 2 of that doubleheader against the Hawks.
Yeah.
So Hyannis pitching has really limited the Mariners' bats this season. And down to their final out.
Hyannis, if they are to shut out Harwich tonight, be their second of the year. Brewster's got 2, YD 3, Orleans 4, Katu at 6.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, 6 is a lot.
Oh, my
Bourne,
gosh.
Falmouth, and Wareham have not shut anyone out.
94 on the fastball by Langenberg. He's bringing it tonight. 0-1 the count to Kenny Lavari, who will look to stand in the way of a Hawks win.
Be a quick game if they can get it done right here.
0-1 to Lavari. That one's hit on the ground to second. Nishida fields it. The throw to first is in time, and the Hawks win. The ball game ends on a save by Ty Langenberg, and the Hawks just can't be beat this week. as they pick up yet another win, their third straight, as Langenberg picks up his third save.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 straight games without losing. They are 6-0-2 in this stretch. The Harbor Hawks advance to 9-5-3 on the year after a rough start. I mean, it's not the best start, right? Mediocre. Now they've exploded onto the scene. They were 3-5-2, and they have not lost a game. 3-5-1, and have not lost a game since then.
They've been just on another level, and tonight, I mean, I would say hot is an accurate depiction of how this team has played. And even though, guys, it was just 2 runs scored in the first inning by the Harbor Hawks, a shutout by Hyannis pitching tonight. Rosario, 4 shutout innings. Berry piggybacks off that with 4. And then Ty Langenberg sits him down 1, 2, 3. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Thanks for coming. Back to Harwich you go.
That's 2 runs in the last 3 games that Hyannis has allowed.
That's
absurd. Absurd.
That will go down as pretty good, I'd say. And before we wrap it up, let's talk about our Roll-A-Bump Limited player of the game.
Now, let me make a case here for it not to be Alejandro Rosario.
Okay.
And the reason why is because you go to Jake Berry, who throws the same number of innings as Alejandro Rosario and comes out of the pen and is lights out for the Harbor Hawks. Almost, I would say, tougher to do than coming in and starting the game 4 straight.
You and I are on the same wavelength.
As am I. So Jake Berry, unanimous Roll-A-Bump Limited player of the game tonight. The big left-hander from Virginia. 4 stellar innings out of the Harbor Hawk bullpen. Langenberg locks it down in the 9th, and Hyannis picks up the 2-0 win over the Harwich Mariners. Any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
Well, I hear it in the distance. Past the sounds of the barge, it sounds like someone is screaming, wailing even. It sounds almost like they're saying,
"It's a great day to be a Hawk!"
The Hawks are indeed hot. As we wrap it up from McKeon Park, a special thank you to our producers Mike Maynard, Ella Gibson, and Abby Stokes, our director of broadcasting Harrison Myers, our sideline reporter Bria Lawsick, and my broadcast partners Zach Berman and Drake Toll. I'm Austin Dakuda saying thank you for watching, and go Hawks.